Celtics.
Bruins began a three-game homestand with a win last night, 5-2 over the New York Islanders at TD Garden. Jonas Korpisalo was a big reason why things went the way they did. He made 33 saves in net, and David Pastrnak added a goal and an assist. Marco Sturm's team scored 5 unanswered goals to improve to 5-7.
I could sense that they gave me everything they had in the first period. The other guys were just quicker and faster than us. And the message was, we just saw that script. We've just been through it with Colorado. They did the same thing, and we kind of stuck with it in the second period, and exactly that what happened.
They host Buffalo tomorrow night. Patriots players had yesterday off, but a lot of news surrounding the team anyway. Patriots made 2 trades yesterday, sending safety Kyle Duggar in a 7th-round pick to Pittsburgh for a 6th-round selection, and Keon White in the 7th to San Francisco for a 6th-rounder. And this was after the Patriots announced a 3-year contract extension for defensive back Marcus Jones, reportedly worth $36 million. The team will practice today. They host Atlanta on Sunday. Celtics had last night off. They play Cleveland at TD Garden tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Jaylen Brown is listed as probable for this game, and Toronto got 4 in the 7th inning. They beat the Dodgers last night 6-2 in L.A. to even up the World Series at 2 games apiece. Shohei Ohtani 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a walk at the plate. He allowed 4 runs while lasting 2 batters into the 7th inning while pitching. Game 5 is tonight at Dodger Stadium. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
New England plays here.
Down the right side, there's a separation. Touchdown pass. Yes. Perfect dive from Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
and Hardy
Who's Taylor the originator?
on 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How are we doing?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio? No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Monday.
Well, I tell her the truth, I miss Booty.
That problem is too large for the Sarge.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
Hey, I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knock it back.
25 glasses of soda.
Having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
And pretty good toes. I love them. Enjoy your weekend.
Hey. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, Town Fair Tire Studios, 617-779-0985. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. And that video is up there for good. So if you're listening to us on podcast, you can do that as well. So,
Okay.
big show on the way today. Pablo Torre, we have his, we'll break down his Mike Lombardi episode. Chris Forsberg joins a very hyper dog. So what I'll do is I'll take a nap, and when I get up, I take the dog. If it's not pouring rain, I'll even go in the rain to this park where there's a big dog park. Big dog park. So it's like big, like it's grass. It's like woods. It's not, a fenced-in thing. It's like a big woods.
It's not a dog run. It's a proper dog park.
Right. And so I go there yesterday, and this is unbelievable. Even you two will have to agree this is unbelievable. So I go there, and so say this thing's like a quarter mile. Like it's like a quarter mile, like the whole area of it. I'm on one side, and my dog, there's one other dog, and my dog and this dog, how they start playing, and then they like run away from each other, and then they do their own thing, and then they go back. And this guy shows up. He's got his dog on a leash. I'm probably 150 yards from the guy. So my dog like starts like walking up, checking out the other dog. And then the guy had taken his dog off the leash and puts his dog back on. And he's like, and I have AirPods in. And I find the whole dog park to be incredibly annoying because it's like everyone wants control of the animal. And it's just like, you got to let go. You got to just let them be animals. Like, not all of them, like, they don't understand you. You understand?
Yeah.
They don't, you can't, you're going to drive yourself insane with these animals. You got to let them be animals. Or just keep them at home. So this guy, and I'm like, huh? What? Like what? I can tell something's coming. He goes, bro, is your dog fixed? Yeah, my dog's fixed. Is it a male? Yes. Oh, no.
Oh, no? I would think that would be positive news the way he's talking. All right.
I'm like, and he's like, oh, no. And I'm like, what? This is the conversation. I go, what? Mm-hmm. Well, my dog's not fixed. Well, it's a male that's not fixed. I don't know how that affects my dog. I mean, if your dog wants to, anally attack my dog, I suppose we'll have to roll the dice. And he's like, well, unfixed male dogs can get very aggressive with fixed male dogs.
Oh, God.
So I said, what are you talking about? And I'm like, and he's like, because my dog's like walking up to his dog. He started freaking out. I'm 150 yards away from him. So I call my dog, and my dog runs to me. My dog's good at the dog park. It runs to me. And then I have this, what do you do? Like, I don't want to talk to the guy. And also, if his dog's like a psycho, I don't want him to bite my dog. So do I go leash the dog and then take the dog up to the guy and go like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, why do I have to leave? Because your dog's not fixed and aggressive. Wait, don't take your dog to the dog park. Your dog doesn't have to be at this dog park. And I know what he would say. I'm training it. Well, train it somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I just ended up leaving.
So his dog was leashed?
He was trying to take it off the leash, but then when he found that there was an unfixed male dog, because what are the chances?
Like 99% of the male dogs?
Did he not understand that his way of thinking would inconvenience everyone around him? What if he showed up and there were 8 dogs?
Well,
there?
I mean, there's sometimes 15, 20 dogs at this place.
I would think he'd be lucky that he showed up and the place was empty.
But it was like almost unbelievable. You're thinking, this is really what happened. It's just like, well, get your dog out of there. Like, I'm sorry, my dog's rabid, and he likes to bite people.
But I'm not leaving.
Right, so you might want to leave. Like, my dog's rabid, so fix your dog, stupid. But don't take it to the dog park before it's fixed.
Jeez.
You know what he was, too? He's probably like a trainer, and like because he's like a big pro, that he was gonna, he was working with an animal.
But if he's a pro,
no, I know, John.
Yeah,
it's just crazy. It's just it's just so annoying. But
I also like that he gave you a little instruction, a little tutelage on
right.
the dog behavior, how your fixed male dog may not get along with his unfixed dog. Oh, I didn't know that.
Right, he would
remember that if I'm ever on Jeopardy.
Yeah, like he was like exasperated, like I don't know. This has never happened before. No one's asked me if my dog's fixed. Yeah, my dog's fixed. Look at it. You think they gave this thing to me with an opportunity for it to breed? It's all mixed up. It's got jaws all out of line. It's all psycho. Like, what do you think? It's not fixed? Yeah, they want to breed this. I'm going to win the Westminster Dog Show.
It's a very prized genetic makeup here.
Yeah, the garbage pit bull boxer mix is really gonna take the world afire. And it's just, I go every day almost, and sometimes I misjudge, because sometimes I think I just assume people, because if my dog barks, sometimes people go no. Like, they'll go, no. Like, there's barking,
There's a reaction of people when your dog barks.
So, like, how, like, a dog will go up to another dog and they, like, stand still like with their like heads next to each other.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
That's like
sure.
kind of how they vibe out, right?
Yeah. Like, what's your deal? I don't know. What's your deal?
Yeah, and then
are
they'll,
we
like,
gonna be cool or
and
what?
then they'll make like a quick move, and that's kind of how they start playing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, like my dog will make a quick move and go like woof woof, and then they go no, because they think my dog is gonna attack their dog, and then it gets me on edge, because I'm like, what if something happened to my dog? My dog never has, and it's almost 3, so I don't know if it's I don't. It's pretty well comfortable around other dogs. I mean, every day it's around other dogs and it's never done anything. But then I start thinking, well, what if it nipped at another dog? I'm like, I'd be in court for the rest of my life. I guess someone, I hear all these stories. I guess someone was at the dog park and their dog ran over a guy, and the guy got like an old guy, and the guy got a woman, an old woman, and the woman got a concussion, and the dude with the dog that hit the lady just left.
Yeah. So the Vegas dog park was a special place, and the dog that I had at the time, he was very, very energetic, and he knocked a guy over once when he was going for the ball, and the guy wasn't was turned around, not paying attention, took him out at the legs, and the guy toppled over. He was pissed. I'm like, head on a swivel, dude. I don't know what to tell you. This dog had a Frisbee to catch. You were in the way.
I saw a guy, I think he tore a ligament in his knee at a dog park. Dog ran up behind him.
Yeah.
The guy, and it's kind of like when football players get rolled up on. That's what happened. The dog charged after him, and it was a straight line. I'm not like veering off course. The ball went over the guy's head from back to front, and the dog was like, I'm going straight. I'm not veering. He nailed the guy back of the left calf. The guy folded up. It was bad.
Well, here's
bad,
what has to happen in that situation. It's a two people involved. The person whose dog hit the guy's got to come up and see if the guy's all right, and the guy who got hit has to say it's okay.
Yes.
Right.
Those are the two things that have to happen.
Yeah,
that would have been great, but the guy threw a fit. The guy who crumpled up threw a fit, and there was arguing, and it was bad. This was like 2 years ago.
Guess what? You lost because what are you going to do? Get up and fight me? I mean, you just tore your calf.
We're here with a bunch of dogs. We're not all Caesar Milan. We're not, this is a chaotic environment. And stuff's going to happen. Now, my best dog park story in Las Vegas, I was there with my dog, and there was a very attractive woman there. She had 2 huskies, and these huskies are not built for the desert. So she says, hey, can you watch my dogs for a minute? I'm going to go over to the gas station and get some water. I didn't bring any water. I'm going to buy a couple of big bottles of water. And I said, sure. So she leaves. I'm there with my dog and her 2 huskies, and it's hot, and we're just hanging. And 5 minutes goes by, 10 minutes goes by, 20 minutes goes by. After a half an hour, I start looking around like, this is not good. And now I got to go. I got to leave. I can't leave these dogs here. So there was another dude I knew there at the dog park who I had a sense that he had a bit of a sordid past, because he once told me at one point, hey, if anyone ever bothers you, you let me know and I'll take care of it. And I thought that was a strange thing to offer up someone that you just knew casually at the dog park. I was like, okay, thank you for that. So I see him. I'm like, hey, do you know the lady who owns these 2 dogs? She left. She said she was going to get water. He goes, oh, her. Yeah. She probably went home to make a porno. I said, what? He goes, yeah. She's a porn star, or she does porn, and she probably had to go shoot something, and she just left your dogs here with you. I'm like, how do you know this? He goes, oh, I used to run her and a few of her friends out of the Durango Lodge. Which was, again, very naive. I didn't know what he meant, because the Durango Lodge was like right across the street. It was a pretty nice neighborhood bar and restaurant. You go in, get something to eat, play video poker. They had a delightful Sunday brunch. Okay. But at night, because it's open 24/7 like all these other Vegas bars, apparently it was a place where one could handle a business like a prostitution ring. So when you said he used to run her and some of her friends out of Durango Lodge, that was his home base for the prostitution of this woman and some of her friends. So I'm like, oh, what do I do? He's like, I don't know. I got to go too, though, man. So he wasn't going to help me in this instance.
No. So what'd you wind up doing? You don't tell me you left the dogs there.
No. I called.
Don't tell us that.
Yeah, that'd be awful.
That would be the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
I remember calling somebody. I didn't call the cops or call like animal control. I think I called Marcy, and she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, wait a few more minutes. Eventually, she came back after a few more minutes, and I said, hey, I was getting ready to like call someone to come get your dogs because I gotta go. And she had some story about how she went to the gas station and she left her keys on the counter and someone left with her keys but didn't steal her car. I don't know. It was something. She was making a point.
I would have been so in love. I mean, between the she was a porn chick and she was all flighty.
Can I tell you
then
something?
She seems like super attainable because she's a porn chick.
I think more about the guy than I do the girl.
Yeah.
Because that guy was more interesting to me than the girl was.
Because I've never like been with a porn star, so like just you see a hot chick and you're like, oh wow, like hot chick, and then you find out she's a porn star, and then there's that at least aura of attainability.
Yes, but her, I
did you go home and watch her porn?
No, I didn't know her name
no
or anything
internet.
else. No,
Oh,
and there was
I
no
would've been on
internet.
that.
This is like '98.
Yeah,
probably.
I would have been right at the video store.
But I'll
on
always
the way home.
I'll always remember her explanation. I left my keys on the counter at the gas station. Someone took my keys, so I couldn't get back here. Like, huh?
This is a woman who's telling so many lies she can't keep them straight.
And they're bad lies.
They're bad lies. So if you buy the Outkast, one of the Outkast albums, once they got successful, the tape used to have an order form for pink pit bulls. Big Boy from Outkast had a kennel where he would raise pink pit bulls. Now, I'm not saying this was one of Big Boy's pit bulls, but when I was in Atlanta, I was at the dog park, and there was a woman with a pink pit bull, and, what could go wrong? They're unfixed pit bulls that are interbred to be pink.
Right.
So this is Piedmont Park, so this is like the Central Park of Atlanta. So this is you're talking dozens and dozens of dogs. So the woman's like, hey, the dog's fine, don't worry. She's like talking to this other lady. Within like 2 minutes, her dog's got another dog by the neck. The woman whose dog's being taken by the neck puts her arm in, and the pit bull latches onto the woman's arm and like won't let go. And like the woman's like ah! And it was like and like blood's coming out, and like I guarantee you, and then like all hell broke loose, and so there was like cops and everything, so I got the hell out of there.
Deuce said, hey, we gotta beat it, man.
This wasn't Deuce. This was Feeney.
Oh, okay.
Named after Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World. But I had to Feeney. I just left at a dog park one day. I was like, here, no, Feeney died. We have the ashes. Oh. And so the John looked at me like, huh? Like, really? So, but what happened?
To go make a porno.
Yeah, because I had to go make it. Someone took my keys. So, I guarantee you what happened is that the dog ripped the muscle off the lady's forearm. I assure you that happened.
Man.
So I bet you there's like a chance that she like lost feeling in her hand, because I've heard of this happening before. Once those dogs get you by the arm and start like tugging, that it's not just like a flesh wound. They move tendon and like muscle around, and it can like screw your hand up. And I assure you that the woman sued the woman with the pit bull and and all it was legal fees. That there was not 1 ounce of restitution. There was no insurance. There was nothing. It was just like flying blind. You could do whatever you want. And, I'm sure they put the dog down and everything, which is a real shame. Because an inbred, uncut pit bull. I mean, you should have seen the balls on this thing. Everyone knew something was going to happen.
It's hot.
Everyone knew something was going to happen. Like you just saw the lady, and then you saw the dog, and you were like, oh, my God. Like, this is going to be bad. So I think that might have traumatized me in a way that, like, I've seen something go down. And so, I don't like the thought that like the preconceived notion that something's going to go down. I find it almost offensive because my dog's the furthest thing from inbred. My dog's got my dog's a Benetton hat of dog. And whatever pit bull it has in it, which I'm sure is some because it's a Tennessee street dog, is got a bunch of other crap in there too. It's so funny. People go like, why don't you get your dog? Have you gotten your dog's genetics tested? And a lot of people, like 10 people since I've been going to this dog park. First of all, why?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what that would do. And second of all, like, what's it going to say? Like how? What's it going to say? Oh, it's got, it's like 23andMe, like, threw up all over someone's stomach.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to give you names. It's not going to give you addresses so you can go reunite your dog with its family.
But I got news for you. When someone says, "Have you looked? Do you know what the dog is?" and you say no, and you go, "Have you had?" They go, "Have you had it tested?" Don't say why, because I go, "Why?" and then they're like, boom. They don't like that because they think it's obvious why. Then you'd know. Because I can tell you, it's a bunch of crap.
Right.
It farts. But he's getting a little bit better. He's getting a little bit, as he ages, he's getting a little bit more. We have stages during the day. When I get home from work, I feed him, and then I have to take him to the basement so the cat can eat. The cat will not be in the same floor as him.
Oh.
And during that time, he's very affectionate. And then he
after he eats, isn't that a weird thing with dogs? After our dog eats in the morning, she wants like 5 minutes of one-on-one close cuddling.
Yeah,
after eating.
It's the same thing with my dog. And then I take a nap, and then the dog wants to go to the park, and then the dog's. Then there's people around.
Yeah.
The kids and everything.
Yeah.
So the dog's all right. But it gets an hour and a half every day. It's not enough sometimes. Every time I pass someone. It's me too. Because I always assume they're pissy. But sometimes they're afraid of their own dog. Everyone's dealing with their own thing. Even the guy with the uncut dog telling me to get out of the dog park. All right, we'll be back, but I had to share that. The minute it happened and I was walking away, I'm like, first of all, I was proud of myself for not going ape crap on the guy. And second of all, I was like, at least I have the outlet of the radio to share the story because I'm like, even these two have to admit that this was no good. This was certainly not my fault. I was the bigger man.
Well, you said that's the second time you said that. Even John and I have to admit. Would you, in many other circumstances, expect us to say, "Oh, Fred, you're being a goose"?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, Fred, stop it.
You're incorrigible.
With your crazy complaining.
Right. You're incorrigible.
All right.
Oh, I'm like Larry David. Always bitching. All right, we'll be back in just a moment with a bunch happened last night.
Boy.
I watched it, too. I was up. I saw it all. We'll be back in just a moment.
You're listening to Touch.
Did you catch a game last night?
Every time I hear the read for Splitsville, I always think about, like, Fonzie talking to, like, Richie, and he's like, have you heard about Potsy and Mary Beth Mandolin? No, the Splitsville. You know?
I don't remember that episode.
No, I'm making it up. Like, that sounds like something Fonzie would say. Doesn't everyone think that?
Know.
Doesn't everyone go Fonzie?
No, because I don't think Fonzie concerned themselves with the relationships of Potsy and Ralph Malph.
Never have less true words been spoken. It's almost a consistent storyline in the beginning of the show. Fonzie's always ready to swoop in. He's got his eye on high school relationships. I mean, Fonzie takes girls from them all the time. He shows up and, like Richie will be having a hard time with the girl, and the next thing, is she too fast? Because because Fonzie's with her. Oh yeah, Fonzie's in there a lot.
Huh.
There's like one season of Happy Days. It's the second season of Happy Days, and it's on Paramount. And so you can watch Happy Days.
Is it still on film at that point?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's the good stuff.
I show, I put it on just to annoy my daughter, like, because I'm like, look at how cool Happy Days is. But the second season's like, okay, like, it's not a bad show. Like, he's not a superhero yet. Fonzie's hasn't developed superhero powers. I don't even think he can make the jukebox go.
Oh, really? That's
No.
before that.
And I don't think his office is in the bathroom at Al's yet. So it's all like the George Lucas movie. It's all like American Graffiti. It's kind of based in somewhat reality. It's like just the kids in the 50s, and Richie and Potsy like pull a girl an episode. They're always like making out. Now they never get laid. It's almost insinuated that they get laid. You have to watch it. There's the episode that you know very well, speaking of poker, where Mr. Cunningham has to go, he's got his fez hat on, and he has to go and win back the money.
Oh, yeah,
Richie.
they do the close-ups of him, doing the shuffle and the deal. Yeah.
Mr. Cunningham was in the Korean War, so he knew, probably World War II. He was in World War II, and he learned in the service, is all I can say.
Right.
All right.
And I do remember that Fonzie supported the election of Dwight D. Eisenhower and at his campaign speech because whoever Eisenhower is running
Adlai
against.
Stevenson.
Yeah, well, John, you voted for Adlai Stevenson.
Yep.
All the kids wanted
back then.
All the kids wanted Stevenson because he was the Democrat, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Cunningham.
Well, Eisenhower I was a great general, so I'd assume that he was the conservative candidate. Yes.
Right, that's what I would assume
Mr.
also.
Cunningham liked Ike. Richie liked Stevenson. Big riff in the house.
So
big rift.
So someone speaks for Stevenson at this rally, and then it's like, now we will hear our speaker for President Eisenhower. And Mr. Cunningham says, now you're going to hear some thoughtful political commentary. And Fonzie got up there and he said, hey, I like Ike. My bike likes Ike.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's funny stuff. But when that Happy Days was taped, that election of Eisenhower and Stevenson would be like the first Obama election for us. Because you figure that was 76 when they shot that show, and the election was probably like 54 or something. Yeah. So 54, 56. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be 56, yeah.
Yeah, like it would be like doing a show set in the 90s now.
Oof.
Yeah. Happy Days was on in the 80s. And then
no, not even. It would be like a show in the 2000s. Like the aughts.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I don't like that, boy.
No, you can't. By the way, what happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Go ahead.
The Bruins were home last night to take on the Islanders, and it was a whole 62 seconds before the visitors scored last night. But then we got a nice reprieve of about 3 minutes before this happened.
Mayfield over by the Bruins bench to Schaefer near side. Quick passing around to the near circle, and Barzal in front. They score. Palmieri on the back door. And the Islanders grab a 2-0 lead, scoring with a goaltender pulled there on the delayed call.
Yes, it was a delayed penalty, and the Islanders managed to maintain the puck on that delayed penalty call for about a minute.
Yeah, about a minute, and Palmieri's wide open, but you skipped over the first goal, and the reason I want to go back to that is the Bruins allowed 7 goals Monday night. They could not have looked worse for long periods of time, especially in the third period where they looked like they just gave up.
They did give up.
They start the game last night. Great first shift. Great first shift. First minute, they're buzzing around. And then the moment the Islanders touch the puck, they score. They go back down the other end, and Korpisalo gets beaten on a shot he should have had. And then you have that. So it's 2-0 after 5 minutes after you just gave up 7 goals the night before. What would you have done if you were a Bruins fan and watching a game? Click. Turned it off like I did.
See, I watched it.
Oh, man.
Because there was nothing else. Last night was a rare night where there was my kids were all engrossed in their own activity away from me, so I didn't have anything else to do. I mean, watching it's very loose. Nesson was on.
Right.
And I would go by Surratt's tonality to see if I should look up.
Sure.
But I did keep my eye on this game.
Well, that and the World Series didn't start for another 40 minutes. So, it's 2-0. I'm like, I really don't want to watch this, but there's nothing else to watch right now. So.
I turn it off, 99 times out of 100. I'm not saying that I engrossed in this team because I'm not.
I'm thinking about why put myself through this again.
Well,
I sat there and watched him get shelled in Ottawa.
It's just happenstance that I didn't see any of the Ottawa games, so it's just. No, I did. I saw some of it. I stopped watching when it got to be a blowout. But, I'm not saying that I'm, indebted to watch this team. But, yes, and then the comeback began. So you got to give them credit. They did not give up.
Down 2-0 after the first period. About 4 minutes into the second, Elias Lindholm scores on the power play. And then the guy that you can always seem to count on in these situations.
Pastrnak gives it back to Peak. Over to Lindholm. Top of the circle. Far side. Pastrnak scores!
Could see that developing perfectly. That was well executed.
I thought you were going to say the guy you can always depend on, Isamont. I was going to go, oh, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, the Bruins they still didn't look great. I understand that they scored many, many goals.
See, offensively, I thought they did. They're moving the puck.
Korpisalo saved their asses.
Look, at the other end, this team's supposed to be a very good defensive team.
They're not.
They're not. And I don't know who we were talking to, but whoever it was, an easy entry into their own zone, no resistance through the neutral zone. That was still there last night, and the Bruins took the lead in the second period, but they kept trying to give the game back. I mean, the Islanders, I think, had 6 continuous minutes on the power play there.
Yes.
Late second, early third.
Well, there was the high stick 4-minute major, and then I gotta see.
There was a hook on Pastrnak right after that, which was a hook. He almost turned the guy completely around near boards. So, I mean, they kept trying to, okay, we have the lead, but, here's another chance, and another chance, and another chance. And Korpisalo bailed them out.
Yeah,
he had a great game last night.
I mean, the Islanders were parked in the Bruins zone. It seemed that way. I can't find the stat. But I would imagine, I'm sure the stat will not back up what I'm saying.
Korpisalo, what, on saves? What?
No, on time of possession, the amount of possession time that the Islanders had in the Bruins zone. Whatever, it's a regular season game. It doesn't really matter.
And they
just
scored,
so happened we all watched it.
Hey, they scored on the power play, too.
McAvoy, right point, back to Geekie. One-timer, scores! Another power play goal, and Geekie, with his 8th goal of the season, 6th in the last 5 games, makes it 4-2.
Yeah, Elias Lindholm scored on the power play to get him on the board, and then Geekie there with an insurance goal to make it 4-2. Bruins would go on to win 5-2 after Minton scored the empty netter.
Yeah, Geekie, that's going to be a fantastic contract. I think he's one behind the NHL lead at this point for goals. I mean, he's that front line is very good. Well, 2 of the guys are very good. Lindholm, even though he got 2 points last night, still not very good. But, at least there's some positives.
I can't understand why they're so poor defensively.
I mean, Hampus Lindholm was back last night, and they were still atrocious at times, especially early, and then in that late second, early third period. I mean, I don't understand what's going on here. They won, but it didn't feel that way.
No, I mean, come on. I mean, they won. It's and good for them to not quit. It could have been easy, down 2 goals after you get blown out the night before, just to kind of coast and just go, we're not very good. And they didn't do that, but they're not very good.
It's the system. It's a new system, and Korpisalo says you just got to give it a minute.
You know, of course, you know, like how we read everyone in front of us. It takes time for everyone. And we saw today it's a work in progress, and today was a great day and good building block for the future going on.
Yeah, the future for a few years from now.
For the future going on. Yeah,
the future a few years from now. We'll all see it when it all comes together. Korpisalo will be John's age, but we'll see.
But the system will be implemented
by then. Sure.
Guys like me, we buck the system. Don't worry about it. All right, we'll be back. The World Series, twists and turns, big inning, crooked inning last night in the World Series, and I saw it. I was Johnny on the spot. I was a real sports guy last night, watching sports.
Look at you.
I was at a game on Sunday. I'm consuming sports like there's nobody business, baby. All right, here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub headlines.
fantastic explosion.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Two teams. Shohei Ohtani was on the mound for the home team last night, and Vlad Guerrero got to him early.
2-1. Vladdy hits it high.
Kaboom!
Hernandez back on the track, looks up, it is gone. Plakata! Vladimir Guerrero Jr. puts them in the lead with a 2-run shot. 2-1 Blue Jays in the top of the third.
Ding dong.
To Ohtani's credit, that was his worst mistake, I should say, of the night. We were just talking about his first at bat because there was some discussion as to whether or not they would just walk him. And I was like, yeah, he's a leadoff hitter, and he's going to be up first in the bottom of the first. Maybe they'll just put him on base. They did, but it was a strange sequence of events.
Well, Bieber went 3-0 on him, and I figured, okay, they are going to walk him, and then they got it back to 3-2. But
he threw a traditional 3-0 pitch. It was like right down the middle, and Ohtani was take the whole time.
Second pitch was a curve that was obviously low, and the ump called it a strike. And Ohtani's 2 steps to first base and came back.
And apologized. I'm sorry.
Sorry, didn't mean to show you up.
Right.
And it worked for him because the third pitch, the sixth pitch was a strike, and the ump called it a ball.
How much was it a strike?
Oh, it was easy 4 or 5 inches inside the zone.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
They called it a ball. He did Ohtani a solid. Okay, I missed that one, so you can have first. Don't tell me good hitters don't get preferential treatment.
Yeah,
even in the World Series.
Well, it's such an odd thing if you're leading off and pitching. You got to massage the umps. It's because he got squeezed on a called third strike later in the game, and he can't do anything. He swears, you can see him swearing, but he's very soft. He can't really go after the ump because you got to go out there again. So he's in a difficult position.
So that 2-run homer from Vlad Guerrero would make it 2-1. In the third. It would stay that way until the 7th when the Blue Jays started putting guys on base.
Here's pitch 8 to Jimenez. And it's lined and down in left center field. In to score Varsho. Up to third Clement. 3-1 Blue Jays as Jimenez delivers in the 7th.
And they were not done there.
He's 0-1 to Bichette. Swing and a rope. Left field and deep. Turning back Hernandez. It's over his head and off the base of the wall. In to score Andres Jimenez. Around to third Guerrero. Wall ball RBI single Bo Bichette. 5-1 Blue Jays in the 7th. He tagged it out to left.
Well, none of that would have happened because Jimenez got doubled off first. And they went to replay, and the announcers were like, oh, no, he's out. And then they said, no, he's safe. And so
the replay took about 4 minutes.
Yeah, and then there was a dribbler to the first base side that scored a run, and because that run, and then that lopsided inning never would have happened. It just, I don't know how you can just be watching a replay and just announce that and get everything so wrong.
It also interesting pitching decision by Dave Roberts. I think Ohtani was at 90 pitches through 6. And in today's day and age, 90 pitches, that's it. Especially a guy who plays both ways like Ohtani. But considering what happened the game previous to that, where they blew through the entire bullpen, you're kind of forced to bring Ohtani back out there to see if he can get through the 7th. And then you can use your emergency relievers to get you to the end of the game. But Ohtani was gassed. I mean, he gave up 2 hits immediately, and all of a sudden it's 2nd and 3rd and nobody out in the 7th, and you're bringing in your bullpen in a no-win situation. And Toronto puts up the crooked number.
Well, did you see when they said that the guy in the Blue Jays swung when he didn't even take the bat off his shoulder, and then they doubled the guy off first? Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Oh,
no.
Okay. Yeah.
So 6-2 the final, which is less than 8.5 runs. So thanks, guys. Hardy, you should bet everything on the over because they had used so many pitchers in the 18-inning game, and they're going to leave guys in there longer. I'm like,
wait a minute.
Guys, I don't know. You're the baseball guys.
Wait a minute.
Fred, do you think so? Yeah, just bet everything you got. I don't know, John. You really know baseball, too. Should I bet everything?
Yeah, you should absolutely bet all your money on the over. They're going to score a lot of runs tonight because those pitchers are going to be in there a lot longer than they normally would be.
First of all, spot on imitation. Second of all, I want to tell you it was your idea. You're like, you know what? I'm liking the over in this, guys. And you said it really loud.
No, I don't remember it that
You
way.
brought it up.
I remember
We were
coming
like,
to
you know what? Just being friendly. You know what, Hardy? That's a good idea.
Almost literally hat in hand. I was like, guys, please, I don't know baseball. Would you please instruct me in the ways of
You
gaming
literally
the system?
taking your hat off.
It was over 7.5 at what I'm looking at. So you got squeezed, my friend.
Apparently I did.
But don't take my game. I'm done gambling. First of all, I don't like it that much, and second of all, I have lost every football bet every football bet that I've placed this year. I've lost. So don't listen to me. Except for the Patriots' first game. I rode high on that. I had Vegas money line, and I bet a lot on it.
I'll give that to you. You were out in front of that by about a month.
Right.
That's true.
And so
finding out that I had bet that Jets money line after I thought I hadn't bet it, that made me happier than anything has in weeks because it's the first bet I've won in weeks. So
the doubling off thing happened 2 nights ago. My bad.
All right. There was some Patriots news yesterday. Trenny Casey breaking it for us here.
The Patriots are sending defensive end Keon White to the 49ers. This, according to multiple reports, New England will get.
Yes.
Oh, good for her.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm sad I didn't know that. Good. Congratulations to Trenny. I didn't know that. I knew that she had a kid, right?
No.
She didn't have a kid?
No.
Oh, I thought she had a kid.
They have a dog.
Oh.
It shows that dog off a lot on the socials.
I don't know. I apologize to Trenny. I like Trenny. Go ahead.
The Patriots are sending defensive end Keon White to the 49ers. This, according to multiple reports, New England will get a 2026 6th-round pick for a 2026 7th-rounder, and White, who had 5 sacks last season. Not a surprise. Healthy scratch on Sunday.
All right. Keon White had 4 sacks in the first 2 games of last season. He has played in 20 games since then. Want to guess how many sacks he has in his last 20 games as a Patriot?
I'm guessing not as many as you would think based on the 4 sacks that he had through the 2 games last year.
Yep.
4.
Lower.
3.
He has 1 sack in his last 20 games as a Patriot.
Well,
a healthy scratch last week.
Those
I'm
were
surprised
lean
they
times
got anything for him.
During the very long lean years. Those were lean times. Remember people insisting on Keon White and that he was going to be the next Lawrence Taylor?
I really liked Keon White.
Well, because he was mean. Another failed draft pick. They're obviously clearing the decks. They're going to make some move at the deadline. They're obviously this is dead weight, and these are just teams with taking flyers on big needs.
And also, they dealt Duggar yesterday as well.
Yeah, Duggar and a 7th-rounder to the Steelers. They get a 6th-rounder back, and then Keon White.
All house cleaning.
The funny part about this is that they've hated Duggar that was not a secret. They've hated Duggar from the moment that Vrabel took over. They've been trying to get anyone to take his contract. Congratulations to Pittsburgh for taking it, but I just find it fascinating. Now Pittsburgh has both Patriots starting safeties from last year. And it is, at this moment, a pretty, I'd say, 50-50 possibility that the Patriots and Steelers could face each other in the playoffs.
I don't think the Steelers are making the playoffs.
Well, right now
I wouldn't
they're
write that down.
Right now they're the 4,
and
the Patriots are the 2. So it is a possibility that those 2 teams could see each other.
What good fortune to the network that has that game, because then you can sell it as look at this, the revenge game for the 2 safeties, the most glamorous of positions.
That's right. It means everything, the safety.
I mean, the networks had to be salivating at that because forget the Rodgers-May angle, it would be the Duggar angle. This is a revenge game. Duggar's going to try super hard in this one. Just don't ask him to cover anyone.
They're going to turn him loose.
I know. It's amazing to me. Vrabel could not. It was obvious. Vrabel didn't want him from the second he took over. They did everything he could to get rid of him.
They didn't want either of these guys. So it's house cleaning. So good for the Patriots. They've
2 high draft picks. He got nothing for.
And they didn't take them. So
I know
it's not their fault. That's the beauty about taking over. It's just none of it's your fault. You can just wait. All right, this gambling scandal is still going on, and a lot of people have things to say about it. We will have that for you in just a moment.
You're listening to Touch. Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
After allowing 7 goals and a bad loss on Monday night, the Bruins opened up their home game against the Islanders yesterday evening by immediately falling behind 2-0. However, they then scored 5 unanswered goals and won 5-2 to improve to 5-7 and 4-3 at home. Jonas Korpisalo made 33 saves in net.
We just stuck with it, and that's what you have to do. Obviously, you don't want to be down 2 goals in the first period, but everyone knew that we played pretty good in the first one. And second one, we just took over, and pretty much the biggest chances Islanders got was on the PP. So 5-on-5 game was pretty good for us.
David Pastrnak added career goal number 397 and an assist. The Buffalo Sabres come to town tomorrow night. Yesterday, moving day for the Patriots, and by that I mean they moved 2 players off the roster. Kyle Duggar finally traded along with a 7th-round pick to Pittsburgh in exchange for a 6th-round selection, and Keon White, a player that had exactly 1 sack in his last 20 games, shipped to San Francisco with a 7th-rounder for a 6th-round pick. Marcus Jones has signed a 3-year contract extension, reportedly worth $36 million. Celtics had last night off. They host Cleveland tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7. You're on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And Vlad Guerrero Jr. homered and drove in a pair of runs. Toronto beat the LA Dodgers 6-2 to even the World Series at 2 games apiece. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Green Home Solutions. If you've got mold or funky odors creeping around your home or office, don't mess around. Visit greenhomesolutions.com/Boston to book your free consultation today. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app, the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Fred describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Hey, very exciting. Pablo Torre had a episode just on Mike Lombardi, and it confirms several theories that we've had just by hearing him speak for so many years. And we will get into that in a very short time. You can watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. And here is the deal, is that Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier, as well as members of organized crime families, have been arrested for these illegal poker games and what have you. And it's a whole situation. And Craig Carton, who I think is very talented, he did afternoons at WFAN and mornings at WFAN with Boomer. He had a gambling addiction, and it led to him committing securities fraud, wire fraud, and they say that he defrauded $4.8 million from investors. He did his time. He served his time nobly. He's out and working again, and all of that is very good. And Craig Carton, as a guy recovering from a gambling addiction, had this to say.
For those of you that asked the question, it's a fair question asked. If you have that much money, why would you gamble? And it's a very fair question, and one that I can answer because I did it.
But to my understanding, it's not gambling even. It's that they were paid to, lure guys in, and they got a percentage of the fix. They played poker, and then in parentheses, and at the end of the day, they were given a cut of what they took off the people, is my understanding of it. It wasn't that they were playing in a poker game. It was that they were part of luring people in to take their money, which I'm still fascinated is a thing. And I gave you guys the example off the air. It's like if you sleep with a prostitute that you got off the street and you get herpes, suing the prostitute for having herpes. Well, I mean, you're not supposed to be getting a hooker off the street anyway. It's just if you're in a legal poker game and they take you, that's kind of just the price. If you're dumb enough to be betting millions of dollars in a poker game and they take you, that's kind of just how it is.
And yeah, we talked about this at the time. All right, how can you go to the cops or like you said, the prostitute is this guy sold me bad crack.
Yeah.
You can't do that. it's one thing if guys are agreeing to engage in something that they would normally look the other way on. Like, it's a poker game. What are we going to do? But if people are essentially getting robbed at that illegal thing, that's when I feel like they have license or maybe the obligation to step in.
Well, how many people do you know that have done cocaine and called the police on themselves because they just wanted to get it over with? I'm aware of many people in the heights of cocaine abuse that have assumed the police were outside and tried to organize their own, turning themselves in. I like numerous people that have assumed the police were around. Yeah,
the voices outside is a real thing.
Yeah,
that's a bad part of the night.
So I've heard these stories. Yeah, these guys tell stories. It's in there, and you're like, wow, like all this stuff is happening, and then the great twist at the end is, none of it was actually happening. Right. Like, they had snipers in trees, and there was a SWAT team, and they were going to break down my door, and so I called the police to engineer my own turning myself in, and the police were like, what are you talking about?
12, did Swami Rob call the cops on the people that were on the roof?
No,
that house that I sublet to him in Albuquerque?
He called it. He didn't show up to work, so they called him, and he said he couldn't come in because they were on the roof. And then they didn't end up calling the cops. One of our promotions people went to his house to basically talk him down and say, "Hey, I'm outside. There's no one on the roof. You can come out. It's safe."
That was the house that I lived at. The house was cursed.
And then he went, but the best part was he showed up to work. They were like, "You got to come in and do your show." So he still came in and did a show that day.
Gacked out of his
good
mind. Show. Oh yeah, I'm sure it was. He probably said 4 words.
What could have gone wrong? Yeah, you could hear his jaw pop.
A lot of long Metallica songs on the show that day.
You heard his teeth fall out of his head, grinding him down.
Oh.
All right. Here we go. Craig Carton.
For those of you that asked the question, it's a fair question asked. If you have that much money, why would you gamble? And it's a very fair question, and one that I can answer because I did it. I was making millions of dollars, and I still wanted to go gamble and risk everything I had in life. Because you have to get around to the fact, let me put it this way, that while you may not think this, you may not want to believe it, it's an addiction. Much like drugs is an addiction, alcohol is an addiction, overeating is an addiction. There's a lot of addictions out there. This one's the one that's mocked the most. Alcoholics are just alcoholics, drug addicts are just drug addicts, but compulsive gamblers are degenerates.
All right. What is this need in the world to rank things? Everyone dismisses the gambling addiction because it is so high on alcoholics and drug addicts. It's just such an odd thing to say. Now, there is some explanation to people, and it's hard for people to get it through their heads. But it's sex addiction, and you go, "Oh, big deal!" Like you're getting laid all the time. But then it's easily explained. Like I'm masturbating constantly. I can't stop watching porno. I'm not going to work. I'm getting prostitutes. I'm living a very dangerous life because I have this compulsion. That's not overly hard to understand. That took me 20 seconds to explain it to you. I don't have a sex addiction. Far from it. I could go years if I had to. I'm like what's his face on Seinfeld when George was like, I'm like a sexual camel. You could, but so anyway, there is explanation, but I'm kind of on this kick now that everything has to be ranked.
Yeah, we love lists.
You can't just go, hey, here's why. Here's how a gambling addiction works and why the amount of money you have really doesn't matter, because it's not at all about making money. It's about the juice and the thrill, and it's almost more rewarding to lose than win. It's a 20-second elevator pitch.
Well, you have to lose it all because you know what you're doing is wrong, and you have to punish yourself for gambling in the first place. That's one notion that, again, I don't have any experience with any of this stuff. But I'm just, talking out of my ass.
So you do hear a lot these guys had so much money, how could you gamble? And then that needs an explanation, and hopefully people will listen to it and go, oh, that makes sense. Much like but the explanation that's been told to me about a sex addiction. It's okay, well, you're getting laid all the time. Well, I'm not. I'm masturbating all the time. And it's like, this compulsion that I can't stop, and it feels out of my control. So, I go and talk to people with a similar affliction. And even if you're like, oh, wow, it's one of these things, again, that people go like, oh, well, that doesn't exist. And you go, well, it does, because it's happening. So you can, put your head in the sand. Now, I'm not saying that you have to, pay these guys bills for the rest of their lives. But if something exists, it exists. But I just
and not even really asking for like empathy or anything. Just could you just acknowledge that there is something out there that maybe you don't have and you don't understand, but it's still a thing,
right? And it's a thing for like a lot of people, and it exists, and it just is.
Right.
So if that's all you really do. But Craig Carton, like, I don't understand what gambling addiction, why you have to rank it with other addictions. Like, it just seems foolish and counterproductive. Just explain what the deal is. You had a gambling addiction. You served your time. I'm glad you're working again. I think you're very talented, but I don't understand why you have to rank. It just bugs me. Like, people do it all the time. People do it with diseases. They go, well, this is, this disease is worse. It's just like, oh my God. No one wants a disease. We do it with everything in this country. It's really frustrating. But here we go.
Overeating's an addiction. There's a lot of addictions out there.
Because overeating is no one. They get a lot of slack. The overeaters. I mean, the gamblers are really put under the gun. Now the overeaters. If there's anything this country has sympathy for, it's big fatzos. We love them. I mean,
well, John does.
I mean, especially John. I mean, John sexualizes them. It's almost worse.
If John did have if John did have a sexual sex addiction, it would only be with the smothering fantasy.
Yeah. Why is it worse? Because Because you're making them objects for your own sexual pleasure. Yeah. That's not me playing that.
That's just me acting.
You're fetishizing them. You're making them objects. They're people.
Yeah.
I just like that. Like overeaters, like everyone gets that. Well, no. I understand gambling more than overeating.
I don't know if he's exactly saying that. I think
he does say it, though.
Overeating's an addiction. There's a lot of addictions out there. This one's the one that's mocked the most.
He's ranking them. The most mocked addiction is the gambling addiction. Like, that's your ranking. That's what it is. The most. By definition, that is what he's saying.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with mocked. I would say that it's the one where people just look at it and say, how could you do that? You have all this money.
Right, but rather than rank, wouldn't you explain? My only issue with this is not what he's saying about gambling addiction and that people misunderstand it. I just don't understand the need to rank addictions.
Which is ironic because you love a list.
Oh, listen, am I a curator of great art? Certainly. Am I a tastemaker? Absolutely. But this is just a funnel of which to enrich lives.
Will you indulge in a listicle? You betcha.
Oh, of course. And I'll have many issues with them, and I'll write my comments in where they belong. But when it comes to like bad stuff, I don't know why we have to. You'll be talking to someone like we all do it. Like you'll be like someone's parent died, and then they'll be like, "How old were they?" And then you're like, we just like need to every nothing can be personal to anyone. It all has to be. We have to put it in rankings in our brain and conceptualize it as that's not so bad. This is the most mocked. It's the most mocked. You don't understand what I'm saying? Dan has something to say. Dan, you call in. I love it. Dan, hello.
Hi, Freddie. I have to call you out for being a hypocrite. You mocked the feet-addicted community. You need to understand we can't control it. It's part of our DNA.
I am jealous. Well, first of all, a foot addiction. I don't know if that exists. But the fetishization of feet, I do find hysterical. And I'm a little jealous because they are just out and about.
Okay. So the people who are addicted to foot porn,
Well, that's a sex addiction. It's not a foot addiction.
But if it's specific to...
No. It's a sex addiction.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Most men like to do a lot of things with those feet.
It's like saying you're a drug addict. Oh, are you addicted to all drugs? No, just cocaine. That is my drug of choice.
But it's still a drug addiction.
Okay, so it's a sex addiction. You have openly mocked, sir, the...
What a tangled web we weave. What a trap we've walked ourselves into, young Hardy. Just because you love feet don't mean you're addicted to feet. Aha! Don't lump them all together. Oof.
Feet.
Someone cool off this guy. His hot takes are getting him in hot water.
Do you like your feet being rubbed, licked, or tickled?
Oh, Jesus.
No, people liking feet is funny. And first of all, I'll mock whatever I want to mock. But I don't. But this is when you're talking seriously about a topic. I don't understand why you have to rank it. That's my only thing.
Alcoholics are just alcoholics. Drug addicts are just drug addicts. But compulsive gamblers are degenerates.
Yep.
It's a stigma associated with being a compulsive gambler.
What are you talking about? Like,
there are plenty of alcoholics that I know that I just call them out. You stupid drunk. You call it. I mean.
We all like the guy shaking in front of the liquor store at 8 in the morning. I mean, there's always you tip the cap to him. Everyone's completely conceptualizes that, or everyone's got a lot of like when you see someone like annoyingly asking you for money so they can get heroin. We are or a 90-pound prostitute like whoring herself for crack. These are all things that we just go, oh, yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
No, you're annoyed and you're like, what the hell's wrong with these people? And that's it's just the thing. Look, I had to stop drinking, but I'm under no illusion that this is something that everyone can understand. And I don't really feel it's my job to make people understand. If someone has an issue with it and they want to talk to me, I'll talk to them. But I'm not here to stand on a soapbox and bang it. But I'm certainly not going to rank it on what other ones' issues. It's ridiculous. Keep your eye on that now. It's just suggesting to the audience, see how often something has to be, not sports or entertainment, this is all fun, but just in life, in the news, like how everything has to be ranked. Like there has to be a winner and loser. Like in stuff where there's no stakes. Like something did better than another thing, so this thing is obviously the winner. But forget, just you do it on your own.
So there was,
and get back to me in like a month.
A comedian who was based in L.A. I forget who it was, but this is like 25 years ago, and he said he was talking to somebody from New York. He said, "What's going on out there?" It's like, "Oh, the wildfires have been really, really bad." And the guy from New York said, "Hey, 9/11."
Yeah. That's kind of my point.
I guess
that's kind of my point. Is that like your tragedy is it's not as big as my tragedy.
Yeah.
Like I understand that you like the guy that died, but come on, it's not the same as my guy that died.
Right.
My guy that died was worse. Manny, go ahead.
Hey, Fred, do you think this addiction thing is maybe some guys have like I don't know if it's like a phobia, but like maybe they just get disgusted at women that have like nasty feet that don't take care of themselves. Is that what it is? Maybe that's what it is.
Manny, I don't know. You tell me, Manny. It sounds like you're working through some stuff yourself.
You've given this some thought already.
Yeah, Manny.
Wow.
I think you came in just wanted me to say yes.
That's a good catch, Fred.
No, I'm asking you a question. That could be it. Maybe women that don't take care of their feet. That's probably what it is.
Manny,
I'm assuming.
Okay. Manny, you do you, buddy. I don't know what to tell you.
Right you are, Manny. That's exactly
I
right.
don't find feet sexual. I know people think I do because I think I truly am being on the left. Why would I not admit it? Why would I not say that I like feet?
Fred, do you think that people that like feet because they're gross? Not me.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't, to be honest with you. What do I think? I think that everything has to do with your mother. And I think that what I've heard is that kids found solace in hugging their mom's leg when they're upset. And so they fetishize like pantyhose and shoes and feet. Is that what it is? Who knows? It sounds about as reasonable as anything else. But what do I know? What Hardy finds attractive in a woman, and I find, even though we find the same woman, the most attractive woman we've ever met, the two of us could walk into a room and we'd find the same woman attractive. But in terms of if we were ranking the woman, we would have different.
But here's where your theory falls apart. My mother has never worn sneakers in her life, and there's nothing that gets me going than a girl wearing a nice pair of sneakers. But
that's a whole
high
vibe.
heels.
Tennis shoes.
Did your mother dress down a lot?
No, she's always really put together.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe it's
I'm going the opposite.
Maybe you're going opposite. Look, man, just ask me. It's a case by case thing. I'll tell you what's going on.
All right.
I'll let you know.
All right.
But I'll be sure to rank it in terms of where it's at. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll do a deep dive into Pablo Torre. Mike Lombardi. He does, and it's great. We will talk about it in
Crush
just a
me,
moment.
Mommy. Crush me with those perfect feet. Oh, crush me, please, Mommy.
Toucher and
versions, and they've been sampled a lot. All right, anyway, listen this morning at, I guess, would it be the end of this segment, for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Patriots take on, this is wrong, they're taking on
Atlanta this
weekend, not the Panthers.
I gave you the wrong sheet. Sorry, yes.
Yes, stupid.
Yeah.
And then we'll have those at 9:42.
Steely Dan and Donald Fagen.
Yeah, I know. If you would focus yourself, I mean, you're making circular arguments. You're a real piece of work. All right. So anyway, Mike Lombardi's the worst out of all these guys. And we'll have Bill Belichick audio for you. Do you have the Bill Belichick audio? Let's start with the Bill Belichick audio.
Yeah, you want that first? Yeah, sure.
Here's Bill Belichick yesterday. And just play the whole thing and then play the Mulaney thing after. I'll set up the Mulaney thing. All right, here is.
Do we have the Mulaney thing yet, Ryan? Okay, cool.
Okay, he has it. All right, so here we go.
Where that story came from, obviously, it's already been taken down and everything else. But it's just total, as Trump would say, fake news. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just a novel. Michael Lombardi and I came in and started hiring people and come into the organization in December. We got here the same day. We've been doing it every day, and and that's the way it's going to be. So I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that want to get clicks and views and posts on my face or whatever, but it's just a bunch of garbage.
So here is the John Mulaney joke about the consistent My Face references by Bill Belichick.
I would blow up my brand and distance myself from my fans for one moment in her company. To watch her scroll, to wake up and hear her on the phone in the bathroom.
Wow, Richard, it seems like a dream.
Yeah, it's a dream. Yeah, we also have some cute Insta faces.
Oh, that's right. You call Instagram Insta faces, even though you're on social media a lot.
Yeah, that's just like the cute little thing. Like he got a chuckle. He's like someone's grandpa. Do you ever when someone gets a chuckle one time and they keep beating that dead horse over and over again? It just your girlfriend, who is your creative muse, lives online. Oh my God! Oh, he just so dumb. My face, that's like a sneering my face thing. You know exactly what it is. This broad's putting pictures of you guys up on it constantly. It's what got this whole thing, got my antenna up. All right. Well, anyway, Bill Belichick at least has won Super Bowls and was a very good football coach. He still might be an okay football coach. Who knows? But I know Mike Lombardi's a piece of garbage because he doesn't even have the fallback if he's had any success. Again, this is a guy who spent over 10 years politicking about Belichick. I'm telling you that Mad Dog would have him on his show once a week because he knew not only would he have him on, the rest of the show was taken care of because everyone would call him and mock him.
Right.
So what it was basically like a circus freak that you would have on the show, and then you would let people gawk at him for the next hour and talk about what a freak he was.
Hank the Angry Drunk.
Right.
Just have him come on, but it was Michael Lombardi.
At least Hank knew music trivia.
He was unbelievable.
He was better than Baba Booey. So that's one of the great Stern segments. And so anyway, so Mike Lombardi, is making like $1.5 million now, which is a lot of money, from the state of North Carolina. But you have to figure he spent 15 years blowing up his brand, making no money, working for Visson or whatever the hell garbage networks he was working for. So if you take and you extrapolate the $1.5 million over the course of 15 years, he's making less than a public school teacher. I mean, this is not a man who fell into great wealth. He hoarded himself and blew his integrity up for a $1.5 million payday. It doesn't seem worth it to me. But anyway, Pablo Torre did an in-depth deep dive into what really is Mike Lombardi's
and
career.
they go into his book that he's writing about, and his co-host on this episode of Pablo Torre Finds Out did the real deep dive, and he found some interesting things.
Michael Lombardi, he loves like a parable. He loves to tell you a story that's like a life lesson in it.
Yeah, and in particular, he loves the idea, the metaphor, the parable of things that look like something but are actually something else.
I think what you see with Jared Goff is a little bit like there's two kind of snakes that you come across. There's Texas coral snake and the Mexican milk snake. They both look exactly alike. But the Texas coral snake is dangerous. It's venomous. It can kill you in a minute. The Mexican milk snake can't do anything to you. It's an imposter. Jared Goff's just a nice guy throwing the ball around. He's the Mexican milk snake. Dak Prescott, he's the Texas coral snake.
Nailed it.
So that's a guy that said, I'm going to compare two quarterbacks. Let's get on the internet and find two things that he Googled two things that are the same but different.
But also in my expert assessment of them, Jared Goff, he's not going to do anything to hurt you. Dak Prescott is the one that is really, really dangerous with the ball in his hands.
Well, this is what made him such a great non-GM. Where I'm not even positive what jobs he really had because it's a bunch of lying. If you remember the letter that he sent out to the boosters, it's like a 6th grade book report because he has this big long quote from Bill Walsh. His big thing is he was with Bill Walsh. That he's learned so much from Bill Walsh, and I have always questioned that because just because you were in someone's orbit doesn't mean necessarily you learned anything from them. It's very possible to be around a powerful person, but on the peripheral where you don't even talk to them. So what was he references Bill Walsh? We've seen it recently.
So it's not only Lombardi learning from Bill Walsh. You get the sense that Walsh was learning from Lombardi too, to hear Lombardi tell it.
Right. That they were, they kind of played off each other to make these 49ers teams a success.
The dynamic duo.
I could argue that no one has had as much direct access as I've had to the men most responsible for transforming pro football into the game it is today. And I would argue that no one is better suited to highlight and explain the brilliant lessons and revelatory insights of these masters.
And to hear him tell it, I mean, he's Bill Walsh's right-hand man.
Leading up to the 1986 draft, there was an unusual sense of urgency even for the workaholic like Walsh. That winter, he seemed to always be calling me to fetch film of a prospect or work with the phones in search of more information. My job was to be on call at all times to help him with whatever he needed. That included invitation-only Saturday sessions in which Walsh and the 49ers staff discussed in great detail the players each of them had scouted over the previous week. Through it all, he took notes on his ubiquitous 3x5 cards, leaning my way and whispering instructions whenever he needed supplemental information.
Okay, so he goes into this big, long diatribe about...
By the way, I like the notion of an invitation-only Saturday session because those are oftentimes open to the public.
Yeah.
With football teams, you can just show up at Gillette Stadium on any given day and just walk in and be in the meeting room with Vrabel and the crew.
You know how you know someone's brilliant, too, is when they just straight up lead in with it. They tell you, like, hey,
I would argue
that I have been around the most. No one is better off to tell you about these great men than me. He, leads with it. So now you're, hooked. You're like, oh, my goodness. All right, so let's hear how much access he really had to Bill Walsh.
Craig took it a step farther than Ray Ratto. He was
So Ray Ratto, they asked first. He's a reporter with the 49ers, been there for years, and Ratto's like, I don't ever remember hearing Lombardi's name. So they asked not Bill Walsh, because he can't. They asked Craig Walsh, his son.
All right, so his son, you would think, would have some notion of his father.
Sure.
Wrote
a book on his dad.
Well, also, he came out of his scrotum, I would assume.
Yeah.
That there was some, at least, biological knowledge.
Right.
Craig took it a step farther than Ray Ratto. He was much more clear about the truth of this relationship.
He was just there in a very, very limited role. I don't think he really had any personal contact with Bill Walsh outside of maybe seeing him in the hallway or sitting in the back of a meeting, but he was not telling Bill, here's what we're going to do. We need to move up. We're going to trade with Pittsburgh to get their 8th pick, and then we're going to get this, and we're going to parlay that, and now we're going to get Charles Haley. And I don't buy any of that. He might have been like the gopher chauffeur, pick him up here. In fact, that does ring a bell. Yeah. That this was your entryway into it. You get to wear a 49ers shirt, but that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I could have told you that just by hearing him in interviews. He doesn't disguise this well. If you're the janitor of the Pentagon Like, you're not an expert on military deployment.
But you probably get a little shirt that says Pentagon something on it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like an invitation only. I mean, I made the coffee. I mean, it was an invitation only situation.
Not anybody could go into that room.
You know, the white party in the Hamptons, I valeted cars there. I mean, I basically could tell you how Jay-Z built his empire. I mean, I parked his car. I could tell you. All of this is just confirmation of what I could have told you hearing this guy speak. Just his insistence on this Bill Walsh stuff. You knew that he had nothing, that you knew he made it all up. He's so transparently dumb in his lies, which we've often said, and I've often said, is that you can tell someone's intelligence often by how they tell mistruths. We all exaggerate. We all, lend a little bit of juice to our stories. And sometimes we don't even know we're doing it. We told them so many times. Mm-hmm. In our brain, it's the real story. Put someone on a lie detector. But it's like, if you're telling me a story that's so preposterous that I can't believe that you would think that I think it's true, that's when you're dealing with a real idiot. And I've heard this from Lombardi. And that's why he's so combative. That you have to understand, it's a big personality flaw. They know they're dumb. You think that they're arrogant, but it's false arrogance from knowing that they're dumb. They're in over their heads. They're out of their depth. That's why. Who cares that you worked with Bill Walsh? What? First of all, you didn't. And second of all, even if you did, who cares? What does that mean? You prove it. You do something. You're in your mid-60s, idiot. Your whole life is that you just were friends with people?
No one has had
It's
as
time
much
for
direct
you,
access
stupid.
as I've had.
Yeah, then you do something, you idiot. It's worthless unless you do something. My cat's around me. My cat can't do a radio show just because you do it. Oh, my God, he drives me crazy.
And the Mexican milk snake.
You were around Bill Belichick. I was around Bill Belichick. Then you be Bill Belichick. It's time for you to do it. You do something, you idiot. Instead of just running around yelling at everyone about how you knew Bill Belichick and that makes you better than someone. Oh, just this false bravado. And he knows it too. You know he knows he's an idiot. But he's so dumb he thinks he's like pulling one over on you. All right, caller number 10 to the contest line. 617-931-0985. We'll get a pair of tickets to see the Patriots take on the Falcons this Sunday at Gillette Stadium. We'll have another pair of tickets at 9:40. More of Pablo Torre on Mike Lombardi in just a moment.
The Texas coral snake is dangerous.
who seek acceptance, respite, and care.
98.5.
On my radar, I was more concerned about getting kidnapped. That was where they.
You've told that story.
Well,
That's
Hardy
right.
was there too. I
Yeah.
mean, we had the Oakland. We had a guy who got away with it. He kidnapped a bunch of kids and killed them,
Right.
and he got away with it. They never caught him. So that was what was going on. Kids our age were getting taken and killed from where we lived.
Yeah.
Like not 5 miles down the road, like in our towns. They were getting kidnapped and killed. And that's every assembly we had. Oh, Fred, it's not every assembly we had. Yes, it's every assembly we had. And it made me an anxious mess. And your parents then were all convinced that you were going to get kidnapped. So if you got separated in any kind of department store or anything like that, it was like time for an anxiety attack. It was not good. You'd be at Hudson's and the speaker go off constantly about people finding their kids.
Lost kid.
Like that was the thing. Like a kid alone in like a department store. Like that was like everyone like kind of gathered around. It was like a wounded animal. Everyone gathered around and like physically blocked the kid from being kidnapped.
But then it was only a couple of years after that they said, there's anybody taking a while. Go off on your own for the entire day. You're 12. You're fine.
Yeah. Well, it was where you were. Like on the street, you were fine. It was if you were in, for some reason, a department store, in my experience. All right. Pablo Torre did a dive into Mike Lombardi, and what do we have here?
So what we have is the time when Lombardi joins Bill Belichick in Cleveland. Now, there's been this narrative and this notion that Bill somehow got changed after his time in Cleveland, that the way things ended there kind of turned him into the sourpuss and the very guarded individual that we know him here in New England as to be. But upon further investigation, Pablo Torre and his co-hosts find out, no, this was something from the jump there in Cleveland.
After 4 years with Walsh, for whom I worked my way up to an area scout position, I moved on to Cleveland. By the time I left 9 years later, I was the Browns' director of pro personnel. But more important, along the way, I swapped one legendary mentor for another as Belichick arrived in 1991 to begin honing his head coaching skills.
This is how the University of North Carolina program is born, right? It's in Cleveland.
Yeah. For the first time, Lombardi and Belichick meet up in Cleveland from 1991 to 1995, and they were instant best buds. Always in each other's offices.
Yes.
And you know what's funny is doing the same old shit over and over again, not saying hello to people, not getting outside advice. And people who I talked to who were there at the time, what I heard was that Belichick and Lombardi they got the locks on either side of the hallway of the coaches, so nobody but the coaches and personnel could go down that hallway. That's how sequestered immediately they were.
Wait, they locked?
You needed a special pass to get into where the coaches were.
Yeah, you had to put your foot under the stall door and let him see your shoe.
Let him know you're there.
Keep him out. Anything goes in this man pit.
Michael, as you mentioned...
Mike, lock the door. No one's going to come in here for a while. Assume the position, Mike. Mike, you understand that laws don't apply in this office, correct? This is international waters. This is a safe harbor.
The door clicks shut behind him.
Yeah, wouldn't you be freaked out if seriously, it's a Matt Lauer thing.
Yeah.
He had the door that shut and locked. If anyone's locking you out of something, there's stuff they don't want you to see, and I don't think it's game planning. I will go that far. That would be my assumption, and don't tell me it wouldn't be yours. If there was an area of this station where two people would lock themselves in and draw the blinds, what would be your assumption? They're doing something in there that they don't want you to see, and it can't be business. There's not any business that is that secretive. I mean, the military. But this is not the military. This is the NFL.
Right.
I mean, plenty of coaches have had success not locking themselves in with another man or woman, for that matter. It's just what are you doing in there that I can't see all day? Why does there have to be this protection for me and you? Now you've got my radar up. Like if your kids lock their door, and you know something's going on they don't want you to see, and it's not math homework.
So that the riffraff couldn't get in there. You know, like the owner.
Right. So Art Modell could not access it. My understanding is also that is, in fact, the Belichick-Lombardi relationship, a real intimate bond.
Oh, really? Oh, nice.
Machi.
The Belichick-Lombardi relationship, a real intimate bond. Like those two guys, unlike the Walsh thing,
right?
They actually do hit it off.
Yes, that's a really good point. This is a true close relationship. They're attached at the hip in Cleveland for 4 years.
Then what happened? Why did he have to work at Visson for 10 years?
15.
If they were attached at the hip in Cleveland and they're such best friends, why was Lombardi out of football for so long?
Kraft took over like, nope.
Yeah,
not this guy.
I mean,
nope.
You know what an idiot you have to be to like have like your best friend be in charge of something and having all this success and be kicked out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you stay in Vegas. You stay out there.
Yeah.
Work for VSiN. I'm gonna stay here. Robert Kraft. It's like, Bill, whatever you want, except for
Lombardi.
that guy.
It's something that
Carte blanche, except for this guy. I have to draw the line somewhere.
It's something that you would expect someone like, here's a good example for two reasons. Like LeBron James, who is like an 18-year-old, goes straight into the NBA. What am I going to do? I'm just going to hire my friends to run my business for me because I really don't know what else to do. The funny thing is, one of the guys in particular apparently has done a very good job working for LeBron James. And so he chose his friend who actually did well for him, whereas Belichick chooses Lombardi, who just screws stuff up.
Right. So, one's Maverick Carter, who's turned LeBron James's career into an empire, and a media empire. And the other one is Lombardi, who worked for VSiN. And did call-ins defending Belichick for 10 years.
And now is obsessed with typewriters.
All to get his $1 million from North Carolina and to be publicly humiliated.
I think it's more. I think it's more like 1.5.
Oh, this didn't make it into any of the clips, but he owns 6 typewriters.
Oh,
go ahead,
yeah.
Marty. Hit it again.
Good.
Please. Thank you.
I like how he thinks that makes him an intellectual.
It's the funniest thing.
It's
like the low-key funniest
6,
part of
by
this
the
whole
way,
thing.
isn't all that impressive. Tom Hanks has 200.
But like the
of all
more
vintage and
typewriters I
antique
own, the
models.
smarter I am.
Yeah, it's like how many? He goes, oh yeah, I have 5 or 6.
I'm so smart. I use. I
might have 2.
I
check my attic.
I express ideas in a way that's different than yours. I hit the keys of a typewriter.
These deep thoughts require this typewriter, but when I'm thinking about these deep thoughts, I use this typewriter.
Right. It's like I only use the finest moisturizers to pleasure myself. Because that's what he's doing behind that typewriter, masturbating. What he's doing is shooting the program in the foot. And we have more. There's more Lombardi stuff, which I very much enjoy. But Chris Forsberg is here, and we will talk to him for a couple segments coming right up.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sport.
bounces with you and against you, but if you stick to your game plan and play hard, a lot of times you end up on the winning side.
David Pastrnak, Elias Lindholm, and Mikey Asimon all had a goal and an assist in the win. Bruins are 5-7. They continue their homestand against Buffalo tomorrow night. Patriots made a couple of trades yesterday. Kyle Duggar shipped to Pittsburgh with a 7th-round pick for a 6th-round selection. Keon White sent to San Francisco along with a 7th-rounder for another 6th-round selection. And Marcus Jones has signed a 3-year, $36 million contract extension. Celtics had last night off. They play Cleveland at TD Garden tonight. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And Vlad Guerrero Jr. homered and drove in a pair of runs. Toronto won in L.A. over the Dodgers last night, 6-2. The World Series even at 2 games apiece, heading into a Game 5 on the West Coast tonight. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Eastern Massachusetts, a leader in drain cleaning and pipelining. Drains by James. Slow drain, clogged drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's Home for Sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
My buddy.
With friends like these,
climb up a tree.
You know.
We're the best friends you can be, my buddy and me.
Now, more of your best morning buddies, Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Yeah, I thought we just executed defensively, held the one shot, got the rebound. Obviously made some open shots. We kept our pace offensively, and we were able to knock down some open ones, whether it was off our offense or off offensive rebound. So I thought we played well, connected basketball, getting stops, keeping them off the free throw line, and then good execution on the offensive end.
Oh, yeah. That music means that Christopher Forsberg is here. And he is raring to go from NBC Sports Boston.
Am I?
You guys are breaking down golf games, shot by shot. I would say so. I mean,
Hardy had a good press on the other day.
If you ever want to get John and I to mind our business, you two start talking shot-by-shot breakdowns of golf games.
I appreciate John keeping his trap shut, not start talking basketball the second Forsberg walks into the studio, because we have to talk golf first.
Well, what was nice was he actually met me in the hallway and we started setting up a little simulator outing. I know you're not a simulator guy, Hardy, but... Oh no! Now he's.
I've talked to you about going to a simulator, and you're like, you know what? I like to see the shot. I like to see it fly through the air. I like to see it land. I'm a purist, and so armed with that information, I asked Chris, "Look, Hardy's probably out on this, but if you'd like to meet for a simulator thing, we can do it."
I hope you two are very happy together.
Oh no! Now we've angered him.
Now you don't see how you intercepting Chris Forsberg in the hall and asking him to do an activity that Hardy would enjoy would hurt Hardy's feelings.
It wasn't intercepting. It was a conversation.
You never leave that frickin' chair for 4 hours,
wrong.
and the second you see him walk by, you leap out. I thought you had diarrhea again. And you go out there to start talking and setting up this clandestine meeting, the two of you over at Dr. Green's or something, that I'm not invited to.
That's exactly what we were talking about.
Have fun.
Ashland, Massachusetts.
Have fun.
You don't but in all seriousness, I like that these exercises. Chris, you're very popular with these two.
It makes me feel good to be in this building.
It should. It should. I mean, they were legitimately fighting over you. John, I'm being serious. You don't understand that you leaving the room to get to Chris beforehand. Just follow me here. You're already shaking your head.
I know he's already shutting down. You can see him putting up that stupid mental wall that he has.
But yeah, in all seriousness, you can't see that it would hurt Hardy's feelings that you went and found Chris without him, and talked about doing something involving golf, which he loves, and didn't include him.
You make it sound like this was a premeditated thing. It wasn't. I said hi to Chris, and then we started talking about golf. It wasn't, all right, I have to get out there and make sure that I do this.
I didn't say it was. I just said you can understand how it would how that would hurt his feelings.
Well, no, you're insinuating that I had a purpose for doing this. And I didn't.
Okay, I'm not insinuating it. It's fair, but I'm saying that that's how it could appear.
Well, I'm telling you that isn't the case.
Again,
you're like
understood.
No reason for you to get so angry.
You're like Captain Ramius in Hunt for Red October. You don't take a dump without having a plan, and you had a plan for this.
See, I thought it was.
It is a compliment, John.
I thought it was pretty benign until he asked to go to the Home Depot afterward and shop for power tools. And then I was like, wait, that's just a bridge.
Now you're trying You're trying to break the tension with humor. Understood. You're getting uncomfortable because it's getting too real.
I feel bad. I've never had a tug of war over my time.
Oh, I find that very hard to believe, Christopher.
That's not true.
I find that very difficult to believe. All right. I'm telling you hurt his feelings.
It looks that way from here. It does.
I really enjoy this because I don't care. So I'm really in a good position because I like Chris, but I have no desire to do a golf simulator.
I do
with
enjoy how much Fred lights up when there is tension between the two of you.
Because
it gives him life.
Because we can joke about it, but it would hurt my feelings. Like if someone came in and I don't know if I enjoyed something and they said, like, do you want to go
put yourself in a world where you enjoyed something?
Right, exactly. Like if I enjoyed something and then but I put myself in that position and it would hurt my feelings. Well, I mean, it's happened. I mean, the show one time went out to dinner and then I looked on Instagram and there's all these pictures of the show out to dinner.
You like dinner?
Well, it was odd that I wasn't even told, and now there was this like victory lap of dinner photos.
I remember Nick texting you. It was like, that sounds great.
And then I was like,
invited.
And then Dan and I include Dan because he wasn't invited either. Dan O'Brien and I were like, what the hell?
That was a Bruins.
And it's what? You wouldn't have come anyway. Oh, no. How could I have possibly thought
the option, right?
Like, no, but like, seriously, like, oh, how could I have taken it personally that you put all these photos of everyone smiling and enjoing dinner as a show, but I had no idea this was going on.
Is Chris
it's just my own thing.
This is Chris and I making our golf date.
Right, exactly. Like, yeah, I'm just a pussy. I don't know how that could have bothered me at all. And you're right, I'm not a man.
And the you wouldn't have gone anyway thing is part of it, too, because not only did you deny me the invitation, you denied me the joy in crapping all over the notion of going to a golf simulator.
Yes, that's on me.
That's part of it, too.
Okay.
Again, it's one of these things like, I
gave you a chance. I didn't give you the chance to be appropriately miserable. I apologize.
Yeah.
Like, my mistake.
Not with you,
mistake.
but like with things like the dinner, it's like, that's an example of Lombardi. Like, you're such an idiot that you didn't, like, there's no argument. Like, you just did something blatantly, and now we're going to pretend it didn't happen. Like, you made an error because there's no defense of your action. So now here we are.
It was wrong.
There's like ways you could have done subtler stuff to get to me, but you didn't. You just did something inarguably dickish, and now here we are with all on the table. And by the way, we're going to talk about it on the radio, and we're going to do this live.
Yeah.
And so good. And it's going to make you crazy because you don't like this, and I do. And so here we go. The next half an hour, I hope it was worth it because here we go, and nothing I'm saying is a lie. Then there's your lesson.
Fred, what would make you jealous if he came out there and said?
I'll tell you what would upset me. Not upset me, but it would make me not feel great. Is if I don't know, like if the three of you like were going out to dinner, for instance, or going out after the show for lunch, and then like I found out that you guys all went to lunch and you didn't even invite me. Of course, that would make me feel bad.
We decided to.
I like all three of you.
All three of us got together and watched Golden Girls reruns or something like with that.
Well, they would just be insisting on something. I would think less of all of you.
He knew that would be a lie.
Oh, Wallach, did you see this new edition, Boys to Men and Tony Braxton?
Yes, they're going on tour.
Are they playing arenas?
I believe they
Garden.
are, but the thing is, it's not three acts one after the other. All of them are going to be on stage at the same time for the entire show.
That's smart.
The difference.
That's how SZA and Kendrick Lamar did it, is that they would come out in shifts and then sometimes perform together.
See, that's just it. I like that, but this is not that.
Apparently. All right, so if I said, Wallach, if you want to go to the Garden in February.
No, because that's your thing.
I know, but I'm just. But like,
no, that wouldn't bother.
You would at least want the courtesy invite.
Like, what's a generic band that like everyone kind of likes? Like, a world where Eddie Van Halen's still alive. It's all I can think of. And like Van Halen was performing, and like everyone kind of likes Van Halen. And you guys were like, we're going to see Van Halen, and you didn't tell me about it. I would be like, it wouldn't be as bad as the situation I just described, but it would be like, it would hurt my feelings a little bit. Certainly it would. If you guys made plans, like kind of like while I was around without including me?
Is it as bad as those two making golf plans without me?
No, it's not.
I know. That's what.
No, that's
thank
why
you.
I'm saying it.
Right.
I'm not playing radio.
Yeah.
I'm doing it on the radio because I enjoy it, but it would make me feel bad. I'm not lying. It would, and I think that's a natural reaction. But regardless, I hope that everyone learned a lesson in here. Again, I have to sometimes step in as the moral
I
arbiter.
understand as the voice of reason.
Right, that's right. I'm the whole.
I get
I'm
it.
the voice.
Sure you are.
Now, boys. Now, boys. All right. Very good. All right. I like Chris because there's a lot of stuff that's not sports to lead things off. All right. So, but this is exciting. Cleveland, who everyone has got Cleveland winning the East. No one has them winning the championship, but everyone has them winning the East from what I see. They are coming to town. A good litmus test for a team that hasn't played exceptionally well to start the season.
Fair. I think this should bring out some of their better basketball. I think they've played well in spurts, but the rebounding has been so bad that it has conspired against them and the record to start the year. And so there was progress against New Orleans, but certainly a team like Cleveland, with the way they can rebound the basketball, with how good they can be, this start to the season is more challenging than I thought it would be. In terms of the opponents they've seen, the challenges they have posed. But yeah, I feel like this is the first chance. That the New Orleans team the other night was pretty bad, especially with the players they were missing. This would be a real chance for the Celtics to be like, okay, the first 3 games were not indicative of what this team can be.
Yeah, what's the deal with Zion Williamson never playing? Just by the way, you mentioned the Pelicans.
It's a bummer, right?
Yeah.
Less than half of the games he's been available for, he's been able to play,
and he's still got that monster contract.
And I mean, the hard
he's
part.
so
You can't
good though when he
possibly
plays.
I know, but that's 1 out of every 4 games.
Which is why he's such an enigma.
Yeah.
It's so strange because he's not even like Embiid. Like when you see like a 7-foot guy break down, it's going to happen.
But that's the really frustrating thing is Zion kind of fits today's game.
Yes.
Embiid does not.
Right.
Embiid is a stationary post player who decides to shoot threes occasionally. Zion can handle the basketball. He's fast.
Yeah, but and I agree with you. And everyone wants to see him play because we remember what he can do. Watch his high school championship game that the kid played in. It's like ludicrous. I mean, he's a beast. But you see a guy like Embiid, 7-footers, they break down. Their body can't handle it. We saw it with Porzingis.
Yeah.
Like, his body's going to break down. He's just a big guy. Like, Zion's a solid individual, right? Like, he doesn't seem like – I know he's overweight, but it doesn't –
But he slimmed down. He actually looks good this year.
Right. So it's not – and he's always been heavy, kind of. Like, he's just a big kid. That's why he's so good. He's a freak because he's so big and so athletic. It's a real bummer. Like, when I turn that game on – I'm like, oh, Zion Williamson. And I'm like, does he even play anymore? Because I don't think I've seen him play in 3 years. So that was disappointing.
Every time the Celtics play the Pelicans, I invariably go to the injury report because I'm like, is he playing? Has he been playing? They had 2 days off before that game. So for him to have only 2 games to start the year and then already need a day off when you're considering the break in between was just so jarring. And I don't know. It's got to be frustrating for them. They obviously traded their first-round pick this year. And that team's bad. If he doesn't play at least, the 60-something games this year, they're going to be in the lottery and they're going to lose that pick. And the roadmap for them is tough. And maybe people up here don't care about the Pelicans, but it's just, you finally get a player like that and you can't make anything of it. It's got to be maddening.
Well, was there a more hyped kid than Zion Williamson coming out? It's something I think as people that even lightly follow basketball, a player that you'd be interested in. He was a phenomenon. He doesn't look like other basketball players. That's what's interesting about him.
He didn't, and I think what makes him even more interesting is the fact that I didn't think his shot was going to translate to the NBA. I just thought it was too much of a line drive. He didn't have enough of an arc on it, and he can absolutely play. He can play in the league when he plays, but like Fred, I have to remind myself, he's still there. He's still under contract. He just never plays.
It's been all downhill since he blew out of that shoe at Duke. Like, nothing has gone right. Remember that game where his shoe just exploded right, because he's such a freak and put so much torque on those shoes?
Well, he was the first guy that I heard that the AAU schedule is ridiculous and that these guys are like breaking down.
The thing is, he's been in the league a long time. I mean, that was the Romeo Langford draft for the Celtics.
I thought Romeo Langford. I thought he was going to be good.
Romeo Langford
Indiana.
and Grant Williams were the two picks the Celtics had the year that the Pelicans got Zion. It's been a while that he's been in the league and he can't stay healthy.
Romeo Langford was a stud in high school. And then he went to Indiana, and he was really good. I didn't think there was any reason that he wasn't going to be good in the NBA. I didn't think he was going to be a superstar, but I thought he would be a rotational player.
To be fair, Romeo turned into Derek White. So,
there you go.
Kaboom. And that's the insight you get from Chris Forsberg, who's very popular. I'm going to leave the studio during the break and let you three have at it.
No, I'm going to leave too. Let these two make their plans.
That would be a statement right there.
We got
Wouldn't that be fun,
morning.
Adam, if Hardy did charge out of here? Ooh, that would be uncomfortable. Then I'd have to stay to see what happens. But I do have to urinate, so let's do this. Number one, so let's not gross.
Okay.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
More. Hey, on the Sports Hub.
At the 99 restaurant, $14.99 big deal meals start the week off right. Satisfy big appetites.
I think this group, we have the potential to do so. So I'm here to help. I'm here to help our guys learn in that process as I'm trying to lead as well. But I'm looking forward to the growth of this group.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Chris Forsberg from NBC Sports Boston is in here. Celtics host Cleveland, a big test at home tonight. According to this get-in price, $30 to get in this evening. Jeez. So you can see yourself a real wingding at the Garden tonight.
Where's that $30 seat?
Probably courtside.
Yeah,
probably courtside.
First off, hurtful. Like this team is not going to.
I didn't mean it to be hurtful.
No, but it hurts my feelings when you guys.
Where is it? It's going to be a single ticket in the upper deck. I mean, that's where it is.
It's been such a hard ticket that it is a little bit jarring that it sounds like it's a little bit easier to get, which is great. Like for fans that have been wanting to get there, I'm glad for them. But
I'm just worried that it's going to be lean times this winter is which is fine for the show because you could loosen up a little bit. But I'd like some sort of, because the Bruins aren't making the playoffs. I would like it if the Celtics had a little run. If they're a play-in team, that's
East
no
is,
fun.
Well, although things look bad, and I have to back up Chris on this, the East is so bad. If the Celtics
I don't think it is.
Moderately get their act together, they could absolutely make a play-in. They could absolutely.
No. I think that they could. I think they could be beyond the play-in. I think they could make the playoffs. The actual whatever. Do you consider the play in the playoffs? I think that they could be better than a play-in team. I'll say.
Yeah,
but I don't think. I think that the East at the top is good. I think the Knicks are good, and I think Cleveland's good. I think Orlando's pretty good too.
Although
certainly better than you.
They have not played. Orlando's the biggest surprise to me that they have not.
I mean, but we're at the 2 weeks into the season.
Right.
I mean, let's relax a little bit.
There are two teams clearly at the top, and then there's everybody else. And I don't know what to expect from the Knicks, to be honest.
Who are your
with
two
you.
teams at the top?
Cleveland and the Knicks. Orlando's like right next.
I mean, did you watch Milwaukee last night?
I did not watch Milwaukee.
Well, Zion, Giannis put on a show.
Yes,
and they in overtime they beat the Knicks.
It's a reminder that when Giannis is full Giannis mode, they're still in the mix, and we'll see if they had enough depth and whether they can be there for the totality. But I mean, we sometimes forget how good Giannis is.
And can I tell you this, is that it's a little bit of juice because every time the Knicks play, they're getting everyone's best shot. That's something that you've learned earlier this season is these Knicks games are like little mini playoff games. As much as I hate to say it, but it's true, more than any other team in any other sport, basketball kind of revolves around the Knicks. I'll explain. Even more than the Lakers, is because it seems that 9 out of 10 analysts or sports talk guys or writers or whatever grew up Knicks fans. Like, so everyone, like Stephen A. Smith is like a Cowboys fan, but he's a huge Knicks fan. Everyone just seems to be a Knicks fan. So when that team's got juice, more than even the Lakers, I think that it's good. And so I think the East is okay.
Did you see the Bob Costas intro to the?
I heard about it. I heard that
it was
it's
awesome.
Very nostalgic.
Like, for us 80s babies, it was,
Well, I thought Tommy Heinsohn was a national basketball guy. I didn't know he even did the Celtics.
Yeah.
I didn't have any idea.
Yeah, Tommy did CBS for years.
Yep. I mean, he did all the huge games. I mean, he did all those Piston games that we
Yep.
would get. So, he was the big voice. Go ahead.
So the question for the Celtics, I mean, coming out was, okay, we're going to play fast. We're going to shoot a lot of threes like we did last year. We have Neemias Queta. He can rebound and defend, if nothing else. And we've seen a little bit from Queta, but the rest of it has been not good.
So I expected some growing pains from the front court. I mean, you don't lose Cornette, Porzingis, Horford, and not have to kind of figure things out. I didn't think the rebounding would be this bad. Can't imagine the team thought it would be this bad if they did with the limited moves that they made. I thought the other night they were better. Like Queta was more active, and starting Minot gave them a little bit more size and athleticism in that spot.
Is it enough to keep him in the lineup? Because Hugo Gonzalez started a game and then didn't play again. So I mean,
you're asking me to crawl inside Joe's head, and that's a weird space to be. I don't know if I can tell you what the lineup will be tonight. I think you do have to put a priority on size. The one thing I probably undervalued going into the year was how much they would miss Tatum's rebounding. He is one of the best rebounders at the forward position. I'm thinking like 99th percentile among forwards last year. in terms of defensive rebound rate. And man, every time they, even if Nemi boxed someone out, but like no one's swooping in to get that rebound, it's like, oh, that's where they miss Tatum. Not just the scoring and the playmaking and everything, but
they were talking about that and his defense the other night. It was the rebounding, which I didn't really think of, but in the last season or two, he's become more of a, I guess, more of a presence.
Yeah, I think he's always been a defense, just because he's so big and so active. But we take it for granted because when there's a player that's that offensively talented, we tend to forget everything else good that they do. And so if nothing else, this season is a reminder of how good Jason Tatum is. Like, I think he'll be more in the MVP conversation. It's weird to say, right? He's going to miss at least half a season, and we're going to sit here and respect him more because it's been exemplified about like how much he matters to this team.
Okay, so then that lends itself to how does Jaylen Brown handle this? Like, if the team is just mediocre and it's obvious that they miss Tatum this much, how is he going to react to that? Because the logical self-realization way is, okay, I'm making a lot of money. We have a chance to win titles if he plays. But there's also the part of I'm an alpha. Like how does he come to grips with all of this?
Well, I'll put it this way: like, I don't think the Celtics' struggles have been because of anything Jaylen has or hasn't.
No, but it's just the absence of Tatum.
This guy was he won. He was a second-team All-NBA player. He should be able to elevate people around him in theory, and so far,
like if Brown got hurt, would the team be in this much of a hole?
It's fair to wonder. I would say, to your point,
he scored 41 points and they lost.
But opening night, and I know people hate the potential assist thing, but he had 15 potential assists. Guys just missed everything he fed them. Like, he was trying to make them better in the same way that Tatum makes everybody better, but he doesn't certainly have maybe the same gravity where like there's so much attention on him that it frees up everybody else. But it's also, this roster is different. It's not fair to judge Tatum teams when they've had Tatum, Brown, White, Porzingis, Holiday versus now Jaylen taking on a little bit more responsibility with a team that, especially as Derek and Peyton struggle, haven't been quite as good. So I think we need a longer sample to like maybe fully. But I get
it's not even really. I mean, it's obvious if the team's not as good, and this is all obvious, and Jaylen Brown isn't going to take this team to a title on his own. Like, all of that we know. It's just we also seem to know that Jaylen Brown wants. I mean, he does. I mean, the interview he did with you guys. I mean, he wants. He's using this to like kind of get more of a presence in the league and outside of the league. And if the team struggles, I mean, that's not his ideal situation. Don't you think that he saw this as kind of an opportunity to pop a little bit more?
Yeah, but I think he has. Like, I think, honestly, like one of the biggest bright spots so far this season has been he's been really good. And it hasn't always translated itself to wins, and there's more he can do. The turnovers against the Knicks were bad. But I give him credit. I think the biggest thing I give him credit for is they start 0-3. They clearly wanted to give him a night off in New Orleans, and he refused to take it because I think he understood, like, if he's going to be the face of this team and if he's going to be the leader this year, optically it wouldn't be great for him to sit out that game. And so they were able to tread cautiously with him in only, I think, 24 minutes or something like that. And he was good in those minutes.
Well, he also had 5 fouls at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
But like, again, they start pulling away when so you're able to kind of rest them to the finish line. I'll be again, we're going to overanalyze everything Jaylen does this season, but I think on the totality, he will give this team a chance to be competitive. The supporting cast needs to do their job. And if Peyton and Derek start knocking down shots, I think it looks a lot different than what we saw the first 3 games.
How do you think Peyton Pritchard has looked? Now he's in the starting lineup. Very different role than he's had since he's been here, and he's also garnering a lot more attention. How do you think he's handled that?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it. There's been I've heard people say, like, oh, do they need to flip-flop him and Simons? And I don't. I just think I always try to give guys, I think 10 games is at least the barometer of, like, let's figure this thing out. Maybe even Joe needs 10 games here to figure out what the rotation looks like. But let's see what it looks like after 10. And I think they miss his ball handling on that second unit. Like, Simons is not a pure ball handler. and they've struggled just to kind of like get into the offense, and they missed that initiation. And the fact that Peyton has missed shots has left people to scrutinize. But again, the other night against New Orleans, getting into the paint a ton, creating a ton of shots. I think he realized if that 3-point shot is going to be struggling, he's got to find other ways. And the other night, I thought he was really good.
Leave Simons on the bench. He's explosive. I mean, he will give you the scoring. And with Simons out on the floor, you can afford to take both White and Brown off of it.
See, that's the one thing I don't think you can. So because they've struggled to get – you were just waiting for that.
He's so upset.
You're so wrong.
He's so upset.
Well, I think Simons has is very good with what in playing to his strengths, which is obviously scoring and creation on his own. I like him off ball. I think you need to let him. He can be a secondary initiator. He can be knocking down shots off screens. But I like having a Derek or a Peyton out there, and I think the numbers bear out. Like when one of them is out there with him, the Celtics have been really, really good. When he's been on his own, it allows teams to sort of put some pressure on him. It's tough to get the offense going.
Yeah, it took him 2 years to come around on Pritchard and decide, we actually got to pay attention to this guy. Let's not put Anthony Simons out there right away and say, hey, here's another guy you got to watch. Let's keep him under wraps a little bit.
I think it's all about playing to players' strengths. And right now, Joe, it seems, again, from the outside, is trying to figure out, like, how does this puzzle work? Like, Minot was great the other night because they need a little bit more rebounding. They need a little bit more athleticism, and he brought that. And so, how do you utilize these pieces in the best way possible? And, I mean, Simons, that fourth quarter was great. Like, it doesn't even matter. He doesn't have to start games. He can still be part of the crunch time lineup. It's just finding that balance. And so I think they're still working through some of that. But if they had rebounded the basketball for the first 3 games, they might not be 1-3, and we wouldn't be as boo-hoo about where they are.
Are we all boo-hoo about where they are?
I've heard a lot of people being like, it's going to be, they're just down on the potential for this season. I'm like, and I know it's so easy to say.
Some of those starting lineups.
Few more shots.
It's taken a lot of getting used to looking at the starting 5 out there and just.
Hugo Gonzalez, Demetrius Queta. I mean, you look at these guys, and Minot, how often did he play in Minnesota last year?
Not a lot.
Now he looks really good. Oh, we can start that guy. I mean, this is going to take a lot of getting used to.
That's fine, but I think I'll be interested to see what people's temperature is going into January, right? Like when Ugo and Minot and Garza and all these guys have a chance to sort of establish what they are, and maybe we start to see what this potential of this team can truly be.
What is Garza exactly?
Slow. I'll tell you that. Garza is slow.
I described it yesterday as I'm worried for him when he runs.
Yeah, like
he doesn't
anything
look
could happen.
like he should be running.
Well, and I wouldn't call it running so much as he's elevating a little with his steps.
The problem, I'll never forget it. I on the TV broadcast, Scal was asked, what are Garza's strengths? And I don't know if you remember this. He's a great screener.
Well, but it's true. The Celtics this year.
He sets screens better than anybody else.
His feet are like concrete. You can't move them.
No, I said what's a good thing about him?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
No.
I know.
Look, it might take him a little while to get down the court, but when he stands there, you ain't moving him.
But the man on skates, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
He'll stand in front of someone like nobody's business.
He had a reputation for like how he plays, and he does set good screens. Him and Kata got to work on making sure they're not moving. But it's funny. The Celtics are actually second in the NBA in screen assists.
Okay,
Kate is going to get called on that every single time. By the way, it's like, dude, you can't move. You can't shift on that screen. It's like you're too big, but he's too big, and it's too obvious when he does it.
Yeah. Do you wish you covered the NBA 20 years ago so you didn't have to know about potential?
No, I actually like it.
Screens and this garbage.
When I first rode the coattails of Mike Reese as a football guy, I was always mad because there wasn't like a plethora of like nerdy stats, and then I got to the NBA and I was like, oh, look at this is like this treasure trove of ways to explain the game. And now the NFL has actually probably accelerated more, and they have so much next gen stuff.
And you got a week, like with the NFL, you got a week.
Yeah,
and there's only so much of it, so you have to grab onto it with both hands because it's fleeting. The NBA is just around, It's like a friend.
Every other night. I don't need all these stats.
Yeah. I remember when I was depressed as a kid at one point, and that like Pistons being on every other night was like some sort of Like it was some some sort of comfort. There is a comfort in the long season, but it's not a frenzy like the NFL season. It's more of a comfort.
I do miss that. Like every NFL game was like something. It felt like every one of the 16 mattered, right? And there are some nights in the NBA where it doesn't feel like the game is an
That's
event.
why what I was saying about the Knicks is like when the Knicks are good, every game is an event. And so that is a vibe that I've been getting this year, but it might be me because I even thought the game last night went into overtime, but it didn't. Thank you for not correcting me because that would have made me look very bad.
I would never correct you, Fred.
Thank you. Well, you'll never have to because I'll never make another mistake. All right, Chris Forsberg, NBC Sports Boston. Maybe you three can figure everything out. With your Devil's threesome.
I am going to leave the studio this time and let those two have their moment and make their plans, figure out when they're going to go.
I'll keep an ear on them.
Go play video game golf. Have fun.
I'll keep an ear on them. Hey, I played video game golf twice last weekend with my son. All right, we'll be back.
Whoa. That Barry in the lead? You are a sim guy? Like you'll do it with your kids, but not with us?
I didn't say I wouldn't do it with you. You didn't invite me, but I don't care.
And he was just filling up the hours before the
Cincinnati
before the Bengals
Wow.
game.
Yeah,
Wow, we're having a whole conversation. He's just like, do it with my kid, but won't do it with you. Wow.
No, he doesn't care.
No, I swear to God, I don't care. But I know why Hardy would.
Well, now I care.
Oh, Jesus
No,
Christ.
I'm kidding.
No, it was good. It was called 5-iron golf or something like that. We went twice. He needs to do something. It's not like he's drinking. So, like,
Count
you
your
got
blessings.
Well, no, well, I mean, I don't, at least not around me.
Yeah.
So, like, you got to find something to do. And thankfully, they have these things now. They have stuff like in a city that's not a bar that you can do stuff. So, I mean, you got to take advantage of it. It's certainly nice. All right, Chris Forsberg, thank you so much. Here are the headlines.
Essential Sports Hub head. the Sports Hub.
We're Toucher and Hardy, and we've been mocking Mike Lombardi, who is now the GM of the 2-4 North Carolina Tar Heels, who should have won last Saturday, in fairness. They should have beat Virginia at home in front of 2,000 rabid fans. But they turned the ball over in the red zone, and the gutsy going for 2 in overtime for the win fall just short. I would not bet on North Carolina on Saturday based on the reactions for that loss. Like, it seemed like a part of all those kids died when that ball was like 6 inches short of the goal line.
Syracuse isn't very good, though.
I don't know if it matters.
Yeah.
Now, is it in Syracuse or is it?
Yes, it's at the Dome. Yes.
Oh, you can't get out of the Dome alive. Wasn't Syracuse supposed to be okay, too?
Yeah, they were. They were, and they're not this year.
All right. Here's the deal, is Mike Lombardi, Pablo Torre, I guess Mike Lombardi has an audio book, a book of some sort. He wrote a book. Can someone find who published it? Because I can't imagine that any reputable publishing firm would want some unknown hack quasi-executive to publish a book with just like out of everyone.
More than one. I'm looking up one here that is not the one that Pablo was referring to.
Well, Bobby Blotzer from Rat has got a book that he put out himself, and some of the pages were the same in that they were repeating pages.
I'm looking
like Hatchet Book
Crown.
Yeah. I got Hatchet Book Group.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know anything about these.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I asked, because I only know Simon & Schuster basically and Penguin, so I don't really know anything else. But it seems like something you could put together at Kinko's. Like, I'm sure you guys have a friend who's written a book, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. So, we all have friends who have written books. It's getting it published and getting people to buy it, which is the issue. So far we've learned Lombardi plays up his relationship with Bill Walsh, but he was really just a gopher with no kind of access to Bill Walsh at all. So that's a giant misleading at best lie if you want to get into it. But here is Mike Lombardi. You want to know how involved he was with these Super Bowl teams. He's always talking about how he was involved with Super Bowl teams. Here is the truth.
And according to multiple sources in and around New England, with direct knowledge of this situation, the tenure that Mike Lombardi has as assistant to the coaching staff in New England from 2014 to 2016, it is quite clear how it all ended. Mike Lombardi gets into that building, ends up getting into various power struggles with other executives. Lombardi was, quote, internally disruptive. And so the problem was, by June of 2016, that economic calculus, the cost benefit of this guy is basically free labor for us, it flips because his Browns contract expires. And now the Patriots have to make a choice.
So he was working he brags about working as an intern for the Patriots. That's what on his resume, highlighted, circled on his resume was a glorified intern position for the Patriots. This is, again, a guy whose whole thing is he knows more than you. He's combative. He's a dick. Like, I wouldn't care if this guy wasn't such a dick at all. Like, if Bill Belichick wasn't a dick, no one would care. No one's following Pete Carroll around, wagging their finger at him outside of Vegas. You have to understand that this guy's running around acting like he's better than everyone else. And it's always annoyed me because he's not. That's the thing, is if you're going to act superior to everyone, you better be on your effing game. Like, you gotta be, if you're going to swing it around like that, you got to be sending people to space. Like, you got to, we'll see how smart you are. Because a lot of times, and he was a dick to Felger and Maz, which set me off. Like, and it was so unnecessary, too, because he's dumb, right? And his whole thing is that he learned under the tutelage of these guys. Belichick's not even much older than him. A mentor that's 5 years older than you or something? Get out of here. And why isn't it time that you do something? Instead of running around about how brilliant you are, do it. Put it into practice. You don't have a job. You can't even get a real broadcasting job. You're on something called VZ, something with gambling nonsense that seems to pay for their time. Yeah. It's like when an auto dealership buys an hour on a Saturday. Like, they're like Lombardi's buying broadcast time. All right, here we go.
Do we pay Mike Lombardi to be in the building? What I am told with no ambiguity is that Mike Lombardi is fired by the Patriots because Bob Kraft, the owner of the team, tells Bill Belichick, in a rare instance of him overruling a personnel preference or desire, you got to get rid of him.
Oh, yeah.
The backdrop being that there was, quote, basically a mutiny in the building among not just staffers but players if he were to remain in the building.
Okay,
Didn't even know that he was going to say that, but I nailed it.
But you did. And the thing is that so you're attached at the hip with the head coach who's got carte blanche to do whatever he wants. And you're such a and you're working for free. And you're such a menace that you're such an intolerable piece of garbage with nothing to offer that they have to. You're the guy that they had to get rid of. Everyone else failed up. I mean, those assistant coaches for those first Super Bowl teams, they all got big gigs.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do well, but they all got them. That's another story. But at least they stuck around and benefited from it. This loser is the only one who got his ass kicked out the door because he couldn't control himself. That's the problem. And it's not just because he was inept. It was because he was inept and a dick. Like, and the dick in Belichick's orbit. So what he did is he kind of like mirrored the guy that he thought was better than him.
Yeah, where the bar is set differently.
Oh yeah, like I would assume that everyone. I mean, Patricia went into Detroit acting like a dick, and apparently he's a nice guy in real life. So yeah, the barometer.
But if you're known as the dick when you're around Belichick, yeah, and where that's the gold standard right there, and it's like, oh no, it's he's even worse.
Right,
that's pretty bad.
That's like the standout dildo in a sex shop, like the one that they put in the window because like it's a real crowd pleaser. Like there's a lot of dildos in here, but this one, look at it. It's huge.
This will bring.
It's almost comical.
This will bring the crowds in.
Yeah, it's like kind of a curiosity.
Yeah, no one actually buys it.
Right. We know it's dusty, but it brings in the curious, and maybe they'll pick up a vibrator or something.
So Lombardi, the gridiron genius, gets fired in June. The Patriots basically start their season with training camp in July and August.
Yep.
Go on to win the Super Bowl 7 months after parting ways with Michael Lombardi. At the top of every bio, at the beginning of every interview, every speech, every goddamn page of this book is the fact that he's a 3-time Super Bowl winning executive and strategist, and he wasn't even there for that one.
He wasn't even there.
Mike Lombardi was not issued an official Super Bowl 51 ring as a Patriots employee during the 2016-17 season, as much as he enjoys referring to all of the bling he's won as a 3-time Super Bowl champion.
I got enough bling here to last a lifetime, right?
What I am told by multiple Patriots sources is that Lombardi did remain in contact with Belichick throughout that 2016 season in a purely personal capacity, and that after Super Bowl 51, something happened that still blows people who were in that building away. Because Bill Belichick, I am told, personally bought and presented Lombardi with a Super Bowl ring. Not an official team-issued A-grade ring with the real diamonds in it and all that, but the kind that a top executive could buy for his family members.
Yeah. So Belichick respected you so much that he knew you were such a dolt that he had to present you with fake jewelry to make you happy. He's
costume jewelry.
Costume jewelry. He gave you a cubic zirconia Super Bowl ring.
He went to Zales.
Right.
Because the team wasn't actually going to get him one because...
Yeah, he's got the one Sosi's wearing. Like, I mean, ooh, congratulations. You knew someone on the team. And the thing about it is great. Belichick is like, I appreciate you. Here's your ring. It's one thing that happens. It's a little humiliating. And, Belichick's not 20 years older than him. I mean, it's like kind of like someone on your level, going, here's a little nugget for you, kid. But it's one thing for that to happen. And it's another thing to stand up and announce it constantly and to show it off, but you didn't earn that. It's not a real. Do you understand? You're actively lying. So arrogance aside, he knows that's not a real ring. He's trying to dupe all of you. Like he's trying to dupe the audience. He's like a magician. It's a sleight of hand. He's a real piece of garbage. He's just lying about his accomplishments. It's quite unbelievable. And, like, I'm surprised it took – he had – you know how much he had to annoy people for all this to come out? He could have just lived his life with the 3 rings. But he had to run around acting like he was better than everyone when he's an idiot.
This is unbelievable.
And this is the trap of the idiot. And he's going to get pushed out of North Carolina. I assure you that will happen. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no way they're going to sit around and allow him to stay. That I promise you. We'll be back in just a moment.
Founding the team anyway. They made 2 trades yesterday, sending safety Kyle Duggar and a 7th-round pick to Pittsburgh for a 6th-round selection, and pass rusher Keon White and a 7th-round pick to San Francisco for a 6th-rounder. And this was after the Patriots announced a new 3-year, $36 million contract extension for Marcus Jones. They'll practice this afternoon. They'll host Atlanta on Sunday. Celtics had last night off. They host Cleveland this evening. Jaylen Brown listed as probable. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 6:30 and the tip-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. And Toronto got 4 runs in the 7th inning. They beat the Dodgers last night 6-2 in L.A. World Series is even now at 2 games apiece. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the 99. Visit the Nines this Halloween, where kids eat free. Kids eat free, or feed the family at home with a delicious family meal to go. You gotta love the Nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred, what's it like to work with Hardy and Wallach?
What a golden ticket I've gotten.
There you have it. Toucher and Hardy resumes on The Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Ryan Johnson is going to join us in just a moment, but we talked about Mike Lombardi. T-Bone was making fun of me in the bathroom. He goes, did you hear this? Pablo Torre's got these interviews or these segments about Bill Belichick. I said, if you're mocking my interest in this, you're not going to get anywhere, because it is very, very real. But Mike Lombardi, we found, was given a costume ring from his friend Bill Belichick after he was not involved with the 3rd Super Bowl. He was working as an unpaid intern, essentially, for the first 2.
Who got fired before the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he got fired before the season of the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, sorry.
So he wasn't involved at all.
Yes.
And Belichick bought him a ring, which is kind of sad. And would just be a sad story, but Lombardi acts like it's real. And in fact, will show up to, speaking of engagements apparently, and goes, look at my bling, which sounds very natural. He says, look at my bling, and then he knows it's a fake ring. Like, he knows it. So he's lying. So this is not false. This is not like a guy who really thinks he's the best. He's a guy who's going up and knowingly lying, which has got to be, John made a good point off the air. It's got to not be great, like knowing this all could be exposed.
Being him, I mean, he's got to live his life scared. I mean, people are going to expose him, and now people are actually digging. He's always wanted to be important. Well, congratulations. Now you're important, and people are digging into your life.
Like, we
Good
all
for you.
lie, but it's one thing, like, and sometimes we don't even know we're lying. Like, we all have exaggerated stories and whatever. And again, you could pass a lie detector test, but it's another thing to completely misrepresent yourself knowingly.
Yeah.
Bill, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey.
So I'm in software sales, and I worked at a tech company a few years ago. I think it was 2017 or 2018. The CEO of the company was actually college roommates with Lombardi. I think they went to Brown. I'm not sure. He was a kind of a hard-o himself. He played like the longest yard speech and stuff for everyone to try to get them all excited.
Oh, yeah.
But we had a sales kickoff, and Lombardi came as the keynote speaker. His presentation was like, it was put together by like a really dumb 7th grader, really like generic, like keep trying, work hard. Everything was quoted as Bill Belichick. He talked about Bill Belichick the entire time. And it's funny because after we went for like a steak dinner at Fleming's, and he was passing around the Super Bowl ring to everyone. And he was a nice enough guy, but you could tell he was, kind of a try-hard and very pompous. But I just thought it was funny when all this is coming out. Like, his whole presentation was around Belichick. His whole life was around Belichick. So
Yeah, it's like this. He's so pompous about knowing someone. Like, you do something already. Instead of yelling at everyone about how stupid they are and how smart you are, you go do something. Because him yelling at Felger and Maz, which really bothered me. I don't know why, but it did. It's like, they're better than you. like they've achieved more than you have. Like, why are you acting like they're idiots? You understand how stupid that is, right? You're a guest. You're in media, and you're not doing as well as they are. But here you are acting like you're so vastly superior to them, but you're not. Do you understand how much that bothers me? It just bugs me. Like, if you're going to be arrogant, you better bring it. Like if you're brilliant, like a brilliant painter or a brilliant musician, and you cop a tude, listen, you deserve it. You know, you win 85 Oscars, you dick on the set, you know, what can I do? You know, De Niro is a dick to you on set. He gives you the performance of The Godfather 2. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But you better be good. That's my point. You better be good.
Things that you'll suffer through in order to get the result.
Right. Like genius can be rewarded by, you understand that with genius comes some shrapnel because the brain is focused in a way maybe we don't understand. But you better be a genius. That is my point. Ryan Johnson is a genius. Hockey genius.
Oh, yeah.
He's the voice of the Boston Bruins on 98.5 The Sports. So hello, Ryan.
Morning, guys. I struggle with it every day. I know exactly what Michael Lombardi's dealing with.
It's hard for you to relate to the
It is.
man. And listen, if the Bruins win a cup with you as the voice, you'll get one of those costume rings as well. But at least you can say.
And I will be passing that around at dinners and showing it off every single day.
And I would too, but I would be like, hey, this is what they give the media. I wouldn't go, hey, look what the team gave me for being a big part
I
of it.
don't think you would refer to it as your bling.
Yes.
When you know it's not real.
Or I don't think you might wear it so often. The only guy I know that wore the ring, again, was Aaron Ward.
Yeah.
He would wear it at the bar, and he would tap his Carolina ring on the bar.
He wore it when he came in and visited us, or in the early part of the show. He came in.
Dude, I hung out with Aaron a lot.
No, and that's why he
like,
came in when he was doing TV or something and brought the ring in for everyone to watch.
Aaron is the best friend athlete that I've had in town. Like, he was like an actual friend, and it was funny because he would wear that thing, and I remember we would go like out by the garden, and he would like tap it on the table. And, all right, Aaron. He'd wear it to the airport. Put it through the metal detector, all that stuff. All right. So, Ryan, look, the Ottawa game was bad. It was not something – that's got to be a difficult game to call. And then they get down by 2 goals last night against the Islanders. And what are you thinking at that point when they scored 2 quick goals? Oh, Ryan.
Ryan!
You're insufferable with your silence.
Well,
Get back to me.
Yeah.
I went on such a monologue, he hung up.
We'll try to get him back. He's frozen.
Oh.
No.
That's not good.
Oh, thank God for Zoom. Ma Bell don't have these problems. No one ever has a bad cell phone.
Did you ever have a call drop like on a landline? Like 30 years ago?
No.
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 They always worked.
Yeah.
And you could stand in the kitchen.
Yeah.
With your modern technology.
And you had a finite amount of room that you could move.
Yeah, it's good.
It's like if you ever go into a mental hospital, the wire on the phone is very short.
Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the wire on the phone is like if you're in detox, the wire on the phone is very short so you don't wrap it around your neck and kill yourself. Everything is designed for you not to be able to kill yourself.
Huh.
Like there's no toilet seat. The toilet seat is part of the toilet. Now you say, why? Because the toilet seat in a rage could be removed and used as a weapon.
We have Ryan Johnson.
Ryan, well, it's good that you left because I got to educate the boys on hospital regulations on phones.
Yeah, hospital.
I joined that. I joined that part of the conversation late. I thought you were talking about prison and your time in the joint.
No, I've never been to prison. I've never been arrested. No, everything has been of my own
You
volition.
better find some wood, quick. Knock on that sumbitch. Who knows?
You were part of the dark underbelly. I was doing everything on the Johnny Law style. My vice of choice was legal for my age. All right, Ryan, here we are comparing.
All right, so, yeah, what did you think when they give up those first 2 goals in the first 5 minutes last night?
Yeah, it was. It's funny because the first shift of the game. You're coming off that game in Ottawa on Monday night, and as you guys were saying, I mean that was brutal. It had a lot of feelings of some of the games that we saw last year where they just weren't competitive and nothing was going right. I mean, even the simplest passes in the defensive zone were bouncing off guys' sticks, and I mean, it was just ugly from the very beginning. And so, last night speaking to Marco Sturm right before the game, and he said, it's good that we get a chance to get right back at it here, and and hopefully we get the response that we're looking for. And they come out first shift, a lot of energy, and get the puck moving around right off the bat. And and then they make a mistake and it's in the back of the net, and a minute into the game you're already trailing, and then less than 5 minutes into the game they're down 2, and it's like, oh no, this is this could potentially spiral out of control very quickly with the the state that this team is in. And good on them. They did exactly what they said they needed to do, which is just keep at it, push forward. I didn't think they played all that badly, honestly, in that first period. It just those kind of two mistakes end up costing them there. But they came out in the second period, got a couple of early power play chances, and that really kind of kick-started the offense. And they were pretty good the rest of the way. And we've seen it now 2 of the last 3 games. The game against Colorado on Saturday, the game against the Islanders last night. That's how they need to play if they're going to win and try and compete.
What is going on defensively? Like the idea going into the season, I thought was, look, this is going to be a grimy team. It's going to be boring, but they're going to play tight and they're going to choke people, and this is going to be how they win games.
Depending on the goaltending.
Yeah. And so, but that hasn't been the case at all. They've been scoring goals. Their power play seems pretty good, at least the first line of the power play. And they seem poor defensively. What's going on?
Yeah, so I had a conversation with Charlie McAvoy the other day in Ottawa. We aired it during the pregame show last night, and one of the first question that I asked him was, "What do you know about the team now that you didn't know going into training camp?" And his answer was kind of a mix of surprise in that they are scoring more than he expected, and I think more than most of us expected. And defensively, they haven't been nearly as good as expected. We were told coming into the season by management, by coaches, and everyone else who observes this team on a regular basis that they're going to struggle to score goals, but their defense and their goaltending is going to be the way that they win games. And in a lot of cases, it's been kind of the opposite of that, which has been strange. McAvoy told me, defensively, they are still getting used to what Marco Sturm wants, and kind of moving to this hybrid system and figuring out when they're going to, follow a man-on-man type of a system versus when they're going to hand off to a different guy in the zone, and for a guy like McAvoy who's been here his whole career, it's a total change from what he's used to. That said, at some point, you get 10, 11, 12 games into the season, you'd figure, you'd be further up to speed on it than they do look at times. And, whether guys are just getting lost, whether they're not covering their assignments, it kind of depends on the night. But I thought it was really interesting last night. Marco Sturm, we saw him do this with Casey Middlestat in Utah last weekend. He was a healthy scratch. Last night, Mason Lohrei was a healthy scratch. And Sturm said, it's time for him to hit the reset button, watch a game or maybe, I assume just one, but maybe not, upstairs and kind of figure it out and get, recommitted to things at the defensive end and make the plays that are there. I think what they're asking from Lohrei and from the other defensemen is when you've got an opportunity to make the simple play, whether that be, get the puck out of the zone, or if you got guys coming at you on that strong side, get it around to your D partner so that he's got some space to move the puck up the ice. Do that. Don't try and do too much. Don't just flip the puck out of the zone and give it away outside the blue line. And Lohrei is one of those guys where we've seen it over the past, couple, 3 years now, that he makes those types of mistakes. And that's what really kind of hinders his game defensively. And so Sturm, stepping up early in the season and healthy scratching a guy who's, a big part of your top six. He's been playing with McAvoy on that top pair for the most part this season. And we'll see if it gets him going. It certainly has seemed to get Casey Middlestat's game going here over the last week since he was scratched last weekend in Utah.
I'm sorry, John, but just real briefly before we move off that, Ryan, this may not be interesting to everybody, but what do you have any more in like the system? Because I heard Korpisalo talk about it too. It's like we got to get used to this defensive system. What is it that is so hard for these guys to grasp right now?
Yeah, it's just, and I'm not really. I mean, certainly Bob Beers is much more, an expert on this stuff than I am. But as I understand it, it's basically just kind of when do you follow your guy, and play it man on man versus when you hand off. The Bruins were always kind of known for the defensive layers and all of that. And this is a little bit of a different thing where there are times where, a defenseman or even a forward playing defense is going to stick with a guy who's carrying the puck or, is going to chase his guy out near the blue line. There are other times where you're going to stay at home and you're going to hand that off. Now, I don't know exactly how it works. And there are times where, it seems like the players are a little lost in it as well, but it's different than what they've been used to. And, in talking to Marco Sturm the other night, he said in our pregame interview that, the time for the excuse of, you don't know how it works is pretty much up. And you gotta, you gotta get it down and understand that this is how we're going to play.
Real quick, the young players on this team are going to be needed as we move through the season, Ryan. I watched an interview with Don Sweeney before the game last night, and he said he thought Fraser Minton was the best player up in Ottawa a couple of nights ago. How do you think the young players have done so far?
Well, I mean, I like Fraser. Yeah, I'm trying to run down the list in my head of who you would consider a young player. I mean, you got, Minton, Husnudinov, who's kind of been in and out of the lineup so far. That's really it. I mean, even Jonathan Aspero, who made his NHL debut last night, is 26. He's been in the AHL for the last 6 years. So, it's not a real young group, and so, I think, one of the things that comes out of last night, we've seen it a little bit when he's been in the lineup, is very early on in last night's game, Marco Sturm moved Husnudinov up with Pastrnak and Elias Lindholm and dropped Geekie down a little further in the lineup. And he said afterwards, I was just reading the quotes this morning from his post-game press conference, that he likes Husnudinov up there with Pastrnak and Lindholm, and he likes the fit with Geekie a little bit lower in the lineup. I mean, I tend to love, and rightfully so, I think, because of what they've done here over the past year plus, Geekie and Pastrnak as a unit, because I think they feed off each other so well. But, I think he's looking to maybe try to balance the scoring a little bit. That top line with Geekie, Lindholm, and Pastrnak, it's been a little quiet. Even though Geekie's getting his goals, they've been a little quiet as a group. And I think that other teams, kind of knowing that the Bruins are pretty top-heavy scoring-wise, have really been focusing on trying to take Pastrnak away and slow that line down. So you split them up. Husnudinov adds a little bit of extra speed on that top line. He can track pucks down for you and does a good job, even though he's a smaller guy on the forecheck. And so, that frees up Geekie to add a little bit more offense a little bit further down in the lineup, and it certainly worked last night.
All right, Ryan Johnston, thank you so much. Color me surprised that they ended up winning that game so handily last night, because it didn't look like that was going to happen, obviously. Ryan, thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon, buddy boy.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, there you go, the great Ryan Johnson. We will be back with our award-winning email segment that everyone's talking about.
No, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Listen to at the end of this segment for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Patriots take on the Falcons this Sunday at Gillette Stadium. And this is from Be Real, who you'll recall when the Sports Hub first started, he was Felger and Maz's producer. He was the producer of the show on WBCN. He says, I've said it before, but I've said this before, but Mike Lombardi is the biggest prick I've ever dealt with in radio. And I'm like, oh, I don't remember. What did he do? And he's like, not with your show, with Felger and Maz, rude on the phone when getting him on the line for interviews, and then berating me when I tried to get him on one time. And he said he told me before that he wouldn't do the show anymore unless he, quote unquote, got paid well. Just a pompous, entitled prick. He makes Maynard James Keenan look like Mr. Rogers by comparison.
Wow.
So he's spreading love everywhere he goes.
This is what? How long ago was Be Real the producer?
Oh, I mean, at the beginning of the Sports
Okay,
Hub.
so 15 years ago. 16 years ago.
Yeah.
16 years ago, yeah.
Lombardi was a prick 16 years ago.
And that also means Lombardi didn't have a job 16 years ago.
Yeah, he
was
wasn't with
talking
the
to Felger
Patriots
and
like
Maz.
08, 09?
Right, so this loser's
Yeah.
been mopping up floors for no money for 16 years.
Well, we got an email from Mike Lombardi.
Oh.
As I sit here on the other side of a barrel from a real investigative journalist, I'm wondering why my Super Bowl 51 ring is making as much noise losing diamonds as my typewriter is while I pound away feverishly. I long for the good old days when Bill and I would lock each other in a room together to strategize. Bill's about 4 years older than me, but I've idolized him since birth. Some guys just deserve that type of admiration. Can't wait to get back to the business of being trounced every Saturday and try to stay out of the spotlight for a week. Alas, I'm too much of a genius to figure out a way to make that happen. Until next time, Michael Lombardi, 3-time Super Bowl executive.
Why is Bill's not attraction, but Bill's want to have him at his hip simply because he's a yes man who tells him how awesome he is? It can't be because he's incredibly talented.
Oh, no. It's because of what you said. Bill Belichick, from all reports, is not unlike Lombardi, except he is good at one thing, and that's, teaching football and strategizing.
Yeah.
Everything else, I've told you this before, is that it's as I get older, I realize that a lot of people's negative behavior is based on their own self-doubt. So you think like Bill Belichick just thinks he's a genius, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that he probably knows he's dumb, and then he doesn't have the communication skills to like really answer anything. So his way of handling that is to be outwardly aggressive, like to put you on your heels, so he's not forced into a situation where he has to answer anything of great detail that's not a black and white football program. Because remember, again, I was driving home from Storyland and it had me going through neighborhoods. I remember where I was kind of. And it was before the Patriots when they were good, were playing the Rams when they're bad. And the only station I could get was the Sports Hub. And it was infuriating because they were playing an entire Bill Belichick press conference. And he talked about that punter,
Johnny Hecker,
for 10 minutes.
Yep.
And it's like you're filibustering because you know about the punter. And these are things that you know. But if you're asked like anything where you have to think in a certain way, you're not going to be able to express that verbally, so you're clearing. What we have learned, clearing his throat's a very real thing. That's not only in press conferences.
Yeah, that was.
He's got a weird mucus thing. It would have drove Stern crazy, because I mean, he's got a real Delabate situation going. Go ahead.
So and I'm wondering how far he'd go at this point in his career. He's all in on Lombardi. When Mike and I showed up and we started hiring people, we played that audio earlier. Suppose A.D. Bubba at North Carolina has had enough, and the trustees have had enough of the pompousness of Mike Lombardi, and they go to Bill, much like Robert Kraft went to Bill about 7 or 8 years ago and said, this guy, hire someone else. You got to get rid of him. Does Bill say, if he goes, I go? Or does Bill, once again, serve up his buddy and said, no, you know what? I like you, but I'm going to keep my job.
Why do you think in the press conference he said Mike and I came here at the same time? Why would he even involve Lombardi? His kids are there. Like, there's a bunch of people in his orbit. He said Lombardi because they're obviously telling him to get rid of Lombardi. You think they want to pay that guy $1 million? Something's going to happen there.
Lombardi, by the way, makes $600,000 more than any other GM in the country running a football
and
program.
Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
And the program's a joke. I understand the recruiting class they come in have on paper is okay, and we'll see how that ends up panning out. I saw footage, a listener sent me footage of Jordan Hudson with one of the high school prospect linemen awkwardly high-fiving. So she's involved in the whole recruiting thing. I don't know how that sells the program, but it was the guy and his parents or his grandparents or something, and they were at the game.
The problem is you're expecting Lombardi to do things when we know that his job
ultimately is what this job's all about, thinking.
He's just thinking about things. It's like a one-man think tank.
Well, you got to change the way you're
thinking about
you're
things.
thinking about things wrong.
Ben emails in, great show today, but I have an important question. My friend, we'll call him Jonathan, recently confided in me his troubling habit. I'm concerned we're beyond fetish and onto addiction. John spends his days at work constantly fixated on large bum cheeks, nearly choking him to death. At first I thought, you do you, man, and moved on, but then the real story came out. John told me he often repeats others' questions in interviews, longingly stares out the window thinking about those sweet, sweet clappers, and lies to coworkers about vacations that he takes. I guess instead of spending time driving to Philly, he's actually surfing the back pages for plus-sized ladies looking to smother him. Is my friend addicted, or is this simply a fetish? Hoping to get this man some help.
The thing is that you would have to assume that it's just a fetish that's never realized. You know, because he's a married man. So, is this an internal
but does
struggle?
Does one need to actively engage in the act to still be addicted to it? Maybe he's just addicted to the thought of being smothered by a big butt,
or that type of porn.
Touche.
Could be one or the other.
Point of order. Since we're talking about me.
Excuse me. Why don't everybody step back and let me take this one?
Guys, it could be addiction to drawing pictures of that act.
Fair enough. I think John just settled it.
Oil
right there.
paintings, chalk drawings.
Yeah, certain Rorschach tests.
Yeah.
They all look like it to me. Paul, go ahead.
Hey, Fred.
Yes.
Hey, sorry. Thanks for taking the call. I heard your rant on Craig Carton earlier and how he was, kind of putting every addiction above another. I coined a term for this recently, thanks to my mother-in-law. I think it's called the misery Olympics. It's when people hear something that someone else is going through, whether it be work or relationship or whatever, and immediately it's one-upped by the misery Olympics. You have to outcompete them in the ranking of misery. So I think that's where it comes from a lot of the times, like with people like Craig Carton, where it's just they feel a little bit better when they're able to one-up you with how bad they've got it. And you seem like someone who would appreciate that.
I do, and it's very real. And Craig Carton, I think, is very talented, and I have nothing against him. It was just a way he phrased something, so it's really just splitting hairs. It was just a jumping-off point. I don't want anyone to think that I'm, like, bad-mouthing Craig Carton, because I bad-enough people, and I actually think he's talented. And I don't have any problem with what he said, really. It's just a jumping-off point. He was talking off the top of his head, but he's like, he was talking about his gambling addiction in lieu of the stuff going on with the NBA. And he was saying, everyone, like, gets drug and alcohol addiction, but nothing's treated as poorly as gambling addiction. And it was just something I've been thinking about lately. Like, we just rank everything. Like, nothing can just be. You have to compare it to something else, and if it's of greater gravity or not. I just want everyone to do the exercise for the next week. See how often tell the joke that the comedian told. It's because it's the best way to articulate it with the thing.
Oh, it wasn't even a joke. He was talking about an LA-based comedian talking to a guy from New York, and he says, "Hey, how are things out in LA?" And he says, honestly, the wildfires are really bad out there right now. And the New York guy said, "Hey, 9/11."
Right. Yeah. Like, what do you...
Okay.
Like, my house is burned down, but yeah, 9/11. And you're like, oh, what do I got to complain about?
It's what's the guy from Saturday Night Live? Pete
Davidson.
Pete Davidson. This was on the Oh Hello podcast where he talked about how guys would come up to him and say, "So you're the guy whose dad died in 9/11, right?" He said, "Yeah." And he goes, "You know it didn't happen, right?" Well, what? And they have varying beliefs and theories as to how my father actually died, but he didn't die in one of those towers that collapsed.
That's another problem with the world, is that everyone is an expert on everything. But that is, but the out-misering thing is be like my dad was a fireman and he died in a fire. Like it was really got trapped in this kid's room and he was like saving a puppy and the roof fell on top of him and he died. And you're like, yeah, dude, but my cousin died in 9/11. You're like, well, they both died being firemen.
Yeah.
But 9/11.
Paul emailed in. He said, when my father passed, if someone asked how he died, I would say he had cancer and in April of 2020, he got COVID and he passed away. Do you know how many times people would make sure to tell me that it was the cancer that killed him and not the COVID? Like, okay, my dad's dead. And I don't really care to download what happened and make sure that it aligns with your beliefs.
Excuse me, let's break this down.
Yeah. It's like, you asked me what happened. I told you what happened. They're like, okay, just so you know, this is what killed him.
Well, so much of like things that like afflict people, we don't want to like acknowledge in that you go, well, that doesn't exist, but it does. So we do this with a lot of things. You have to acknowledge something. If it exists, it exists, and you got to deal with it. Okay? So if something's happening, it's happening.
Right.
Like we try to go like, oh, it's not happening anymore. And they're like, what's happening? So we got to deal with it. Even trivial matters in sports, you're like, well, if only. Well, it's not happening. So you can't say if only. You got to make it happen. So, problems exist, and they're going to continue to exist no matter how much you try to will them away, and you got to deal with it. And it's just, I don't think it helps anyone and it's not even help. It's putting too much onus on it, but it's like this need to go, instead of just going like, hey, I had this gambling addiction. Well, what's a gambling addiction? Here it is, elevator pitch. I did it with the sex addiction. Like, I didn't understand how you could have a sex addiction. Were you getting laid all the time? No, I'm masturbating to porn all the time. No, I'm getting hookers all the time and I'm blowing tens of thousands of dollars on prostitutes. Oh, I get it. It's destructive behavior that you can't stop, and this is the way it's manifesting itself, and it's ruining your life. I understand. Now, do I believe it exists? I do, but it doesn't even matter because they have it. And what am I going to do about it? And I don't have to rank it compared to anything else. So what I would do is, I had a gambling addiction. It landed me in jail. Elevator pitch, here's what the gambling addiction is. Okay, I don't know why it's necessary to go, and it's treated poorly, more poorly than any other addiction. Like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Who cares? You have it. Say it. And then we move on. That's all. Caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985. We'll score a pair of tickets to see the Patriots take on the Falcons this Sunday at Gillette Stadium. We'll be right back to end this thing.
Essential Sports Hub headline, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. Boring. And he's back with Fred on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Pat, go ahead, Pat.
Johnny Wellball. Johnny, you hear me, buddy?
I got you.
What did the girlfriend dump you in high school when she was playing Steely Dan? What's wrong?
This is a great country we live in. People are allowed to like and dislike things and disagree on things as well. I do not like Steely Dan. I do not like Donald Fagen.
Listen, I go to the Bryant games. You do great. I still love you, but you hurt my feelings, man.
I'm so
I gotta
sorry.
go.
He hurt my feelings today, too.
Yes, we're gonna have a wing ding. Yeah, we're gonna have a wing ding while the bombs are falling. Yep.
Yeah, John doesn't like that message. He says when the bombs are falling, you get down and...
That's right. And listen to Steely Dan, by all means.
You got a better idea?
And listening to Steely Dan?
Yeah.
Hey, listen to Billy Joel. Come on, everyone knows that.
You don't like Billy Joel.
I like this guy in Lowell. The Lowell Sun reporting on this. Aaron Curtis, that very complicated story. I'll make it as easy as I can. A man was arrested twice in less than 24 hours for stealing 3 cars from 2 dealerships, one 30 minutes after he was released from custody. So he breaks into a dealership. He gets the key fob for a Dodge Charger. He leaves. Car was spotted by police, and they found a hole in the fence. They go into the hole in the fence, and they find the guy there, and he's got the key fob in his pocket. They're like, oh, you must have stole this car. You're under arrest. All right? They take him to jail. He gets released at 7:30 p.m. At about 9 p.m., the police were dispatched to a different dealership for a reported break-in. They said a RAV4 was gone. They checked the surveillance. A guy had broken in, stolen the keys to a Honda Civic, apparently didn't like it, drove the Civic back to the dealership, then took the key to the RAV4, and then drove it close to an address that he had given police when he was arrested earlier. They found him sleeping inside the vehicle. Now, as if this was not enough, in the car that he brought back to the dealership to swap, they found a bag inside with his name on it, the one that was issued to him when he was released after the first arrest. So it was the jail bag that they give you with your name on it. He left inside the car he stole the second time, that he returned to get the third car that he then stole.
I'm going to guess that there's not a lot of opportunity for him to snitch on a big crime syndicate because this seems more like a compulsion.
On top of all of it, suspended license. So he's not even supposed to be driving.
Yeah, I think that this is not a criminal part of a criminal plot to overtake the country. I would assume that this is a man with his own issues.
Yes. There was also the story about a guy who allegedly stabbed a passenger with a fork on a flight. This flight was diverted to Boston.
Oh, is that what happened on that flight?
Yes.
The JetBlue one?
It doesn't say the airline here.
Because there was a JetBlue one that was going to Vegas. It's always going to Vegas.
This is Chicago to Germany.
Okay.
The flight. This was on Saturday. The flight was diverted to Boston. 28-year-old man was arrested. The 17-year-old passenger woke up and saw the guy standing over him, and then he stabbed him. He tried to stab him in the neck with a fork, but he got him too low. He got him in the collarbone, and he wasn't hurt because he was wearing a thick sweater, he said. He did stab another 17-year-old in the head with the fork.
And just stab someone in the head
and
with a fork?
That one he really got in trouble for.
Yeah.
You can poke at somebody in the neck with a fork, but if he's wearing a thick sweater, you'll be okay. Is when he went after the other guy in the head, and they said, whoa, 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 now we got to land this plane.
Yeah, because there was a JetBlue flight that they keep showing, like, just the cops coming onto that flew out, like, around Indiana and then turned around and came back, but I don't know what happened.
That sucks.
Like, on the way to Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, like,
just sort of halfway, so you got to turn around.
So someone, like, had, like, their phone out, but it's just the cops walking onto the plane. So I haven't heard what happened. I'm always fascinated by that.
Well, you got kicked off the flight once.
Many years ago.
Nah, not that many.
Not that many.
I wouldn't say many. More than one. All right, that'll do it for us. Everyone have a great day. Scotty Z, you got something?
How you guys doing?
Yeah, really good. How you doing?
Good.
You
What's
got your
that?
Axe body spray?
What flight was that on?
What's that for?
He's going to tell a Cincinnati joke.
Shower if I don't have time, you know.
What are you covering up over there with that?
I can't say what it is.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Scott. All right. Have a good show. Stolak and Bertrand are next.
Dead skunk.
That'll do it for us. He's got deodorant and Axe.
Wow.
It's a whole situation. Bertrand's going to be so pleased.